trust nobody.
After dog.
You know what I mean? Straight up. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything turned on me. Fear is stronger than love. Remember that. Fear is stronger than love. All the love I gave didn't mean nothing when it came to fear. So it's all good. But I'm a soldier, I always survive. I constantly come back. You know what I mean? Only thing that can kill me is death. That's the only thing that'll ever stop me is death. And even then, my music will live forever.
If you could get a message across to your critics, what would it be?
I'm not mad at you, and I understand what you're doing. But all I'm saying is, be fair. And if it was just our music, then let's just talk about the music. But how can they ban my records? And they're talking about I'm a gangster rapper. You can listen to my songs with Dear Mama and Shed So Many Tears and Keep Your Head Up. I find that to be very responsible lyrics, more responsible even than some of these other groups who they're ignoring. You know, the rock groups, who I don't even want to get into a big, we get it bad, they don't. We're all musicians, but they even recognize that it's just like the rappers were getting too much power in terms of selling power and representation in the world, MTV, everywhere we was going, so they're going to cut it down. And instead of just snatching us away, they figure they'll cut down the topics we can talk about, but that won't make the things go away, you know?
Thanks for tuning in to another King, Mighty King Media TV. Once again, I'm Ted King, and we are still reporting on the Tupac Shakur trial today. Make sure that I got everything all set up here, and we're going to be revisiting the trial. We're going to be talking about things that took place. This is day 8 of the trial. Some things that have already transpired. But there's some things that we're going to go back over and take a look at as we navigate our way through today's proceeding. We'll be talking today for about 2 hours. Once again, we'll be collaborating with Vim Parks, Nicole Bolton. She'll be on in a second, so we can expect to see her shortly. And then we're going to be giving a tribute to the late, great Dolly Parton, who passed away yesterday. So we're going to be giving a tribute to her at the end of our show today. But yeah, we want to make sure that you all tune in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon bell when you're on YouTube. This is also being streamed on Instagram. As far as platforms are concerned, we're also on TikTok, several others. So follow us, hit the icon bell, and we're always striving to earn your subscription and your follow. Once again, I'm Ted King, and we'll be coming on with Nicole Bolton shortly. So until then, let's take a look and see where we're at as far as the trial is concerned. And we're going to be following it, and then we'll be talking about it as well. And that's what we got going for today. Let's get with this trial and see what we're happening. I believe that they're on a break right now, but there is still some footage of what happened yesterday, where the gentleman who was following the caravan with Tupac Shakur when he was shot is now testifying. So we'll go to that footage and we'll pick up there and continue on with the our narration in terms of what's going to taking place, and and keep you all up to speed. And so this is what we got going on right now. We're gonna get on that right now and see what we got here. Let's see. Let's go. Let's go.
North, as you said before,
Yes.
and then you make a right-hand turn on Flamingo,
Yes.
and then you head down. Now, I just want to be very clear. When you get to that intersection, which would be the intersection where everyone stops, it was a red light.
Yeah, I didn't make it all the way to the intersection to Koval. I didn't make it all the way there
Why not?
because I was back and I was on like I said like three cars back, so I didn't make it all the way to the intersection.
The intersection.
Yes. When I made the U-turn, I was in the middle of between Koval and Las Vegas.
So how did you make your U-turn? You just
I made a big wide U-turn. I was in the second lane. We were in the second lane, and I made the U-turn into the, I guess, third
Okay,
lane.
I can talk.
Went
I'm
back
muted right now.
in other direction.
Yeah, you can
now when you make that turn,
mute
you come back
when
over,
you
you make a
share.
left back on your phone, trips
You
vehicle
automatically
all the way
mute.
through.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Are
not.
you still number 3 or number 4 in the procession?
I think
Oh,
I
actually,
think I was like
I
number
am.
2. I
Oh,
was behind the green Lexus.
okay. And then when you get to this intersection, that's is that
That's Harmon.
that's Harmon right there. So
Yes.
that's when you stop your vehicle, you get out of your vehicle at that point.
Where they pulled me out the vehicle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they pull you out of the vehicle. And fair to say, there's a lot of confusion going on that night.
From who?
I would imagine with police officers, they arrive on scene, they don't know what's going on or who's who, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah. But that night, can you describe for us the traffic when you were stopped? I mean, were there cars on the road? Were there people on the sidewalks? Anything like
Yeah,
that?
there was traffic. It was like I guess you would say medium traffic.
And people on the streets?
Yes.
All right. Now, when you first arrived at Suge and Tupac, can you describe for us a little bit about, I mean, they're in the vehicle, and you recognize the vehicle, right? Because you...
I didn't know the vehicle. No.
Oh, did you see Suge and Tupac in the vehicle?
That's what I saw. The wheels is what caught my attention.
The wheels.
And then I looked back and I saw Tupac and shit.
Okay. And were people running up to the car?
No.
And so when you ran up, Tupac, was he hanging out of the window? Was he sitting in his chair?
He was sitting in his seat.
Okay. And when you have that conversation with him, of course, you're having a conversation, and it's not like, I mean, you're not hearing people screaming out Tupac's name or anything like that.
No.
That particular point.
No.
Now, in addition to that, you said that that when you were summoned back to the area by the police, they told you to take your vehicle and actually put it back into the area
No.
that it was before? No.
No.
They just drive over to the area in your
They,
favor.
yeah, the officer drove it back.
I see.
He didn't put it back where it was.
You know any reason why they would have just driven your vehicle back?
They did drive it back.
I know, but why did they? You know?
Oh no, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And when you were there, you had made mention that your film was taken. You had given your film over to Metro,
To the detective.
and when you got it back, it still was not developed.
It was in strips.
Ah, I see. So they had developed it.
They
and was
developed
just-
it. Yes.
Gotcha. So what you had was the negative,
Yes, sir.
and then you printed from the negative.
I took it to a photo, a 1 hour photo, and they developed it.
Okay. Sir, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Paul?
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? Okay, we have one. Just a question from our jury. Can you recall the name of the detective who introduced himself to you the night when you arrived back on the scene?
Kevin Manning.
Okay. Any follow-up based on that state?
Nothing from the state.
Defense?
Hang on.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us, Mr. Jefferson. You are free to go. Have a good day. Steve, who's your next witness?
Mario Diaz.
Mario Diaz.
Yes.
Stand for the jury.
Okay, so this one we're gonna start. This is coming from back from recess, I believe.
Say it again. So the parties stipulate to the comments of the jury.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you may be seated. All right, so you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Steve calls Mark Hatton.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may have a seat.
Thank you.
Sir, if you please state your full name and then spell it for the record.
Mark Hatton, Markhatten.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr.
Of its rise and its ultimate fall.
Yes. As I remember, my agent at the time called me and told me that there was an opening for a job directing a 6-part series about Death Row Records.
For Forensic Lab for 7 years, from 2018 until 2025.
Can you tell us what NIBIN is?
Yes, NIBIN stands for the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network. It's a program that's overseen by the federal agency, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, otherwise known as the ATF. And this is a technology that contains hardware and software that takes high-resolution 2D and 3D images of a cartridge case that has been fired, or a cartridge, excuse me, that has been fired out of the firearm. It looks specifically at the head stamp area, and I also brought a model with me of a cartridge if the court will allow me to use this, and I could also pass this around to the jury so you can get a closer look and see exactly and understand what NIBIN is looking at.
Mr. Hatton, you're getting a little ahead of me, but let's go. I was going to ask you, what is a cartridge case?
Cartridge case, what this is called is a cartridge, and once it's fired, the bullet gets projected out of the barrel, and the cartridge case gets ejected from the firearm, and basically it contains all the components of a cartridge, including the bullet, the cartridge case. Can I use
Yes,
them?
and so it appears you brought a demonstrative. Your Honor made the witness use the demonstrative for the purposes of explaining it to the jury.
Is it the tube? Yeah. Okay. Yes, you may.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so during the firing process, when somebody pulls the trigger, this bullet will project out of the barrel, and this is the cartridge case. This is the head stamp area. It can be stamped with the manufacturer of the ammunition as well as the caliber, and this is the what NIBIN looks at, specifically the primer area, which contains a small explosive that ignites the gunpowder within the cartridge case.
And then on the back of the cartridge, you had mentioned that, or the cartridge case, you had mentioned that the strike that causes the explosion to expunge the bullet, is that strike unique or something that you look at in determining whether or not a cartridge has been fired from a similar, the same gun?
Yes, it's unique because during the manufacturing process of the firearm, it has tooling marks and it's hardened steel. This metal is soft, so this comes out at very high velocity. So when that slams into the firearm, it imparts its unique markings from that tooling process directly onto the cartridge case.
Now, I'm going to direct your attention to case number 960907-2063, where you asked to do some work on that case.
Yes, I was.
And is it fair to say that, and the jury's already heard this and they've been received in evidence, that 7 cartridge cases with a head stamp of 140 SNW were recovered from that scene?
That's correct.
And then initially, when this case first occurred in 1996, they were run through the database that existed in 1996. Is that fair to say?
Not in 1996, it was in 2003, because NIBIN was not created. It was a program called DrugFire, and NIBIN actually was implemented in 1997, but of course it takes time to build up the database, so it really wasn't the database wasn't built up until about the early 2000s. So that's when they actually initially entered this cartridge case into the NIBIN system.
So in 1996, it was DrugFire, and then in 2003, it was re-entered into NIBIN. Is that fair to say?
I don't have any knowledge if this was entered into DrugFire.
So we'll focus on 2003, the NIBIN entry. Did the cartridges used in this particular, cartridge cases collected in this case, match any other cartridge cases that were entered into NIBIN back in 2003?
They did not.
Did they match any other firearm that was recovered by 2003?
They did not.
Now, in 2023, were you asked to re-enter these cartridge cases or re-examine them within the NIBIN system?
Yes, I was.
And that request, I think, was made by Mark DiGiacomo.
Yes, it was.
And had technology changed between 2003 and 2023?
Yes, so that 20-year period, the cameras and the resolution has definitely improved over the 20-year time frame.
And is it also fair to say that probably in the intervening 20 years, more cartridge cases and more firearms have been entered into the NIBIN system?
Yes, it's the gold standard of that type of ballistics. So everybody uses it now, and yes, there's millions of images in the database.
And did you actually conduct did you actually look into NIBIN to see whether or not this cartridge case matched any other cartridge case that was entered into NIBIN?
Yes, I entered it into NIBIN myself, and we did a nationwide search, and it looked throughout the entire country, and then the NIBIN results had no associations other to the original entry from 2003.
So what you learned from NIBIN is when you entered the cartridge in 2003, it matched the cartridge you entered in 2023.
That's correct.
But nationwide, it did not match any other cartridge case that had been previously entered into NIBIN.
No, it did not.
Sorry, cross-examination, Mr. Smith?
Sir, did you actually look at the actual cartridge casings themselves?
Yes, I looked all 7 side by side, and I screened them and then grouped them into one grouping, which represents one firearm.
All right. And as far as you recall or understand, that the cartridge casings were located at one scene, not multiple scenes?
I didn't look into the case notes. That's to try to keep our distance. We don't do any investigative work at the lab, so we don't want to bias our mind to what was. So I did not review any of the crime scene photos, any of the diagrams. I do not know. All I know is I have 7 cartridge cases. How do they group, and which ones to enter?
Okay, and so out of the 7, all of them look like they were fired from the same firearm.
Yes, they had similar visual characteristics, and I entered one, which I assigned as lab item 1.
I see. So no one of them was different, like indicating maybe another gun was used. All of them were from the same gun.
That's correct.
Right. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything further, State?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions from our jurors? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Hatton. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me. That was our short witness before the lunch break?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. So at this time, we're going to take our lunch break. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report of a commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. We'll have you guys back here at 1 p.m. for further testimony. Please rise for the jury.
I can't hear you, Ted. Can you hear me? Let me check my audio.
Now you can hear me. You can hear me now.
Okay.
You should be able to hear me
Yeah.
now. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
back on. How are you, Nicole Bolton?
I'm good. How are you, Ted?
Yeah, I got distracted. Here's how I got distracted, Nicole Bolton. During the process of this testimony, I was kind of looking at some other videos and stuff, make sure I was on point, trying to keep up to date with this. And I ran across it, Nicole Bolton video. Yeah, you're gonna be an icon. You keep this up. You're gonna be an icon. You're gonna be a household name.
That's okay. I don't read my mind.
Obviously so. Yeah, your dance move. Yeah, I got you. I see it. Yeah, keep up the good work. Keep up that dance move. Yeah, 'cause you definitely gonna be yeah, all that. So
Okay.
anyway, yeah. So I they had the testimony. And they also had some talk about it was a guy who took the picture. That picture that's behind me.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was doing testimony on another stream or another video, I guess, because they're streaming at different times. So to keep up, right now they're on recess where we're at here, and there's another guy talking over here with talking about he's talking about, I guess, some documentary that he was doing. But I wanted to get your take on that, if you had an opinion, because I want to make sure that if you wanted to make a comment, we can go ahead. No?
No. Well, I didn't see the documentary guy.
Yeah.
Or talking about the documentary guy. I did see some of his testimony the other day. It sounds like the defense was trying to say that the documentary guy was throwing extra stuff in there, and that he had PPD on mic without PPD's permission. If that's what you're referring to, I didn't hear what you played today.
Yeah, right. Well, it was this guy over here. I guess he's still testifying, or maybe I'm not exactly sure if there's a break on this one or not. But there was a guy testimony. The person's testifying right now. He's hold on a second. I don't want to hit these buttons. I might knock him off. For some reason, I can't seem to get. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. This guy right here. I'll get him on. This guy right here.
Provides the wrong.
Yeah.
Did you become aware that that the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department was only providing what was publicly released in 2018 on BET?
What's your response?
I'll ask it a different way. What was the only thing BET was willing to give us?
What was aired publicly.
And so now I want to go through episode 5 and episode 6 with you. So the first one.
Did you hear someone say words to the effect of, "Hey man, let's get out of here"?
Nope. I seen pulling people off of me. That's all I seen.
Orlando testified on Shook's behalf. Why'd he do that?
He paid it off. Paid us off. He gave up $60,000 to say that he didn't do anything. But it didn't work because the next day the judge said, "I can see him kick you in the head right fucking now."
So Mr. Davis told you a story about Mr. Anderson's probation, or sorry, Mr. Anderson at Suge Knight's probation violation hearing.
Yes.
And then the next clip.
Why are you now telling me what you're telling me?
Because I wanted to get the truth out.
Now in that clip, he's not in a studio. Where are you guys?
Here in Las Vegas.
And that is, well, why were you here in Las Vegas?
We thought it would be interesting to film him where the shooting occurred so that he could walk us through it at the actual site.
Now I'm going to go to episode 6. And I'm just going to go with these each in order.
Yeah, well, I feel I can still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
So in this video, you can see Mr. Davis walking, but is that him actually speaking to you, or is that cut in from the 2008 proffer?
I believe that's the 2000.
Can we play it again?
Yes. I probably can tell that.
Yeah, well, I feel I can still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
That's from the interview with me.
When you say the interview with you, the sound is not the same as when he's walking down the street. Correct. I guess you should ask that question.
Yes, correct. So he's there. It's like a little preview, what you're going to get later, essentially. So we keep it's just his feet to create a sense of mystery. The audio comes from the actual interview that I conducted.
In 2017.
Correct.
Okay.
And the last living eyewitness to Tupac's murder is telling his story.
Why are you now telling me what you're telling me?
Because I wanted to get the truth out. You ready?
That's clearly in the studio, both with the two different backgrounds.
Yep.
Is it the same studio?
Yeah.
Is it the same interview?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
I can tell you why we did that technically, but it'll bore you.
The two different backgrounds?
Yeah.
The very next one.
Okay, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Well, they've been swaying me for the last 20-some years, ever since that day that shit happened. Every other month, they was up there saying, this is a rapper killer, you know what I'm saying? I've just been targeted. Just been on my ass ever since. Nobody trusts me.
Why don't they trust you? Because they think you snitched?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's all studio.
Yes, correct.
Okay, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Well, they've been swaying me for the last 20-some years, ever since that day that shit happened. Every other month, they was up there Just a rapper killer, you know what I'm saying? I just been targeted. Just been on my ass ever since. Nobody trusts me.
Why don't they trust you? Because they think you snitched?
Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Today's report is specifically on the Tupac Las Vegas incident.
All right. Man, but I feel I still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
What is said right here cannot be used against you.
So in this clip, it's sort of the last clip, but now you've led into and cut some of the proffering.
Correct. Yeah. This is where we first introduce it.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Today's report is specifically on the Tupac Las Vegas incident.
All right. Man, but I feel I still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
What is said right here cannot be used against you.
And so I'm getting the sense here that before commercial, you kind of lead off, and with commercial, you remind people what they just saw.
Yes.
Next one.
Don't bullshit me, and I won't bullshit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That one's completely the
Don't bullshit me, and I won't bullshit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That's the proffer. We tried to identify it up top so that people would know the difference.
Okay, you guys are all at the MGM. You guys go to the fight. So lead us through it from there.
We went to eat, and we was at the MGM in the restaurant. Zips, some of my homeboys from East Coast Crips came in there and said, the Death Row dude, Suge, dude just jumped on your nephew.
That's a combination of both.
Correct.
I forgot to ask this question. You said you were there. You said Mike Dorsey was there. You said Duane Davis was there. Is there any other person in that room as well?
Mr. Davis brought his lawyer.
You remember his name?
Wayne Higgins.
So he had a lawyer with him while doing this with you.
Yes.
And now I can't remember. It's this one.
Went to the apartment. Me and Zip was together.
Zip, Eric Martin.
For the most part, although I think you hear Greg Kading's voice, is that right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That's Mr. Davis himself in the interview.
Yeah.
When they asked, do we need some help? I got some gym gear. Like, yeah, okay, cool.
All right. Where does he get the gun from in the car?
A little secret compartment.
Was it a Glock? Zip pulls out.
That flashed up on Greg Kading's face, and do you recognize the person that's depicted in the photograph now here in front of you?
Eric Martin.
Eric Martin. It says AKA Equan Williams. People refer to him in this case as Zip or Von Zip.
Yeah.
The homie said Death Row guys were going to have a concert at the 662 Club. So we went to the 662 Club.
I ran the door at the 662.
I guess we caught a little bit of Mob James there.
Tupac and Shakur, they never show up. So we left.
That's in studio.
Yes.
Stopped and got some liquor. We was gonna party and shit. Had our little drinks.
Meanwhile, Tupac and Suge are driving.
Also in studio.
We came up Harlem and shit. Here he coming at BMW. All the chicks was like, Tupac, Tupac. And he was like, hey, like a celebrity, like he was in the parade. If he wouldn't even been out the window, we would have never seen him. I'm gonna Wound up busting you. When you pulled up, I was in the front seat. Happened to see my friend, Chuck.
Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
You said the shots came from the back. Big Dre, Orlando. Who shot Tupac?
I keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the back seat, bro.
That's a mixture of both.
It's a combination. I mean, honestly, what's your concern revealing who shot Tupac?
What's my concern?
Yeah.
I don't have no concern. I just won't be saying I'm no fucking rat.
Studio interview.
Yeah, Dre was like, no. And Lane's like, you.
Obviously the proffer.
Yes.
I think we only get a few more left down here.
Went in the back, it's a hotel called the Carriage House. Got up out of the car.
I think that's the studio interview.
Yeah, you have some graphics going on, but that's him in the studio speaking.
Correct.
They pulled up in the ambulance while we was standing right there. That shit was funny as a motherfucker.
That's the proffer.
And then the last one.
And his impression is that this guy had it coming.
I'm here, Cobalt, Flamingo, and this is the spot that changed my life forever. September 7th, 1996, the night of the Mike Tyson fight. Tupac jumped on my nephew. The shit went down. My nephew was young, 20 years old. He didn't do nothing to you, you know. He didn't do nothing to you. Tupac, shut up. Kept his hands to himself.
So that's a combination of the material we shot here in Vegas with the studio interview.
Sometime after the indictment in this particular case, is there a position change by the people who controlled the raw footage and intellectual property to what Mr. Davis said?
Yes, both the production company and the network, I think, agreed to provide it.
And were you at all involved in the reasons why they decided to provide it?
I think I lobbied a little bit, but Mike Dorsey lobbied a lot stronger to get it released.
Was there any particular position that Mr. Davis was taken that caused you, Mike Dorsey, as well as the company to change their minds?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we heard that he said that this was just for show, that he was getting paid, this was Hollywood, this was all just, show business.
The term scripted came up as well. Was your show scripted at all?
No, and I pride myself in making sure that my work meets the strictest journalistic standards. I did not coach him in any way. We had meetings where I generally, very brief meetings when he was in the office, where I generally told him sort of where I was going with my questioning. But there was no coaching, no coercion, no, nothing of the sort. It was not, nothing was predetermined. I never provided questions ahead of time either.
And once you became involved, obviously there are other people you guys wind up interviewing that aren't Shug or Mr. Davis or Mr. Kading or Mr. Dorsey.
Sure.
And any of those people, were they compensated for their participation?
Were not.
So once you came on board, everybody else was uncompensated.
Correct.
Did there come a point in time where you were able to provide a transcript of the actual tapes that were the videotapes of your interviews of Mr. Davis?
Yes. I was contacted by Detective Mon, and is that his last name?
Mon?
Yes. Somebody had and we talked for a bit, and he took a statement, and I then provided the transcripts to him of both of the sit-down interviews.
And I'm going to show you something just for identification purposes, but I'm going to show you State's Proposed Exhibit number 113 and 114. Do you recognize at least the first page of those particular transcripts?
Yes.
And those look like the way your transcripts were provided to
Sure.
us.
Yeah.
During the course of this, were you able ever to get, or was E1 Entertainment ever able to get us the tapes themselves, the raw footage?
They did not, and I wasn't really privy to that process, but I think that they could not find them. It was what I was told, or maybe they didn't try hard enough to find them. Not sure.
Were you aware that Mr. Dorsey was able to give us the audio
Yes.
copies that he had?
Yes.
And were you aware that there are small sections of the tape that are on the transcripts that aren't on his audio, but he also has things on his audio that weren't captured because the camera wasn't running?
Correct. Yeah. When we would break for a break or something, or for lunch, he would continue recording.
I passed the witness, Judge.
Okay, cross-examination, Mr. Sant.
Mr. Diaz, good morning.
Good morning.
Have you ever testified in a criminal case before?
First time.
Congratulations. I would imagine it's a little bit of an experience for you. Let me ask you these questions real quick. So, in terms of what you do for work, you are a producer or a director?
I'm a showrunner is the technical term. I basically run the entire production.
Right. And obviously when we say production, it's something that would be considered maybe geared towards entertainment value, right?
Yes.
Now, in your career as, and is it considered Hollywood what you do?
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of what you do, for instance, have you ever had to take a deposition before?
No.
All right. And in terms of what we're looking at here on this particular night, you were the director and the producer of this particular project?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were working for, not Entertainment One, but for another company that was a subsidiary of Entertainment One?
Creature Films.
Okay, Creature Films. Now, your testimony to us is that, hey, I'm just there. Duane Davis shows up for the interview. Is that right?
Yes.
Who reached out to him from your company to do the interview?
I'm not quite sure who did the initial reach out.
Just want to make sure I'm clear here. In terms of your work was just only to ask the questions and sort of verify the information that you had prior to the interview with Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, yes. I was there to ask the questions, make sure I got the material in order to build the series.
Right. And with what you were doing, though, obviously there would have been a team of people with you, right?
Yes.
Now, the series itself, there's an individual that's named in your series by the name of Greg Hayden.
Yes.
Who was he?
Well, I mentioned him earlier. He's a Los Angeles police detective, and he was a consultant on the project.
Right, so his name is actually...
A paid consultant.
I'm sorry?
A paid consultant.
Right, so his name was one of the credits that was in the, when you do your credit
Yeah,
part.
yeah, at the end, yes, sir.
Now, in addition to that, you had mentioned a man by the name of Mike Dorsey.
Correct.
And Mike Dorsey was also somebody who was what exactly?
A consultant.
He was a consultant.
Yes.
And as far as you know, the two of them, Mike Dorsey and Greg Hayden, helped to write a book.
Yes.
And what was the name of the book?
Murder Rap.
All right. Did you read that book?
I did.
You want to make an approach?
Sure.
Showing you what's been marked as proposed defense exhibit D as in David. Do you recognize this photograph?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that?
Cover of the book.
Okay, great. Your Honor, this time I'd like to move for the admission of defense exhibit D as in David.
Any objection, State?
No objection.
For a minute.
May you publish for the jury?
You may.
That's the book, correct? Or at least the cover of the book.
The cover, yeah.
Right. And I appreciate you being specific about this. Now, fair to say though, that the book was really sort of the core of what you were doing in terms of the information you'd received, right?
So we had both Kading and Dorsey as consultants, but I also interviewed other authors who also wrote books, and I read those books as well. So
Great.
It wasn't, in other words, this was not my only source.
Okay. And so can you tell us who your other sources were that you read to help you with your
I
document?
think there's a book, it was the first one I read called Original Gangsters, which was written by Ben Westhoff, I believe. And then there was another book, and I'm not going to remember the title, by a woman called Cassie. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. A very seminal book about. About West Coast rap and gangster blues.
Yeah, you can move freely.
I'm showing you what's been marked as proposed defense exhibit E as in Edward. Do you recognize that photograph?
Kathy, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And is that a picture of the cover of the book by Kathy Scott you just referred to?
It looks like it. I don't remember what the cover looks like, but
Sure.
yes. Seems accurate enough.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to move for the admission of defense exhibit E as in Edward.
Any objection, State? What was that?
No objection.
Okay, so admitted. Sorry, I just didn't hear.
Publishing for the jury. Is that the picture, or is that the book? What other books did you review prior to your documentary?
This is the only three I remember.
Okay. Now, fair to say, of course, that you're in the business of drawing people to your work, right? You want people to purchase your work, view your work. Is that right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms
I'm
of...
not in the. I'm sorry, can I amend that?
Sure.
I'm not in the business of drawing people to my work. I'm in the business of creating compelling television or television programming or films.
Okay, so your...
It's a different standard.
Can you explain to me what the difference in standards are?
I don't do. Okay, so the best distinction I can draw is like I don't necessarily do reality television, where it's just, you know, it's somewhat manufactured, it's bombastic, it's, you know, anything goes. I make documentaries which are traditionally based in journalism. You know, I'm out there trying to get to the truth of something.
So,
and that truth, I believe, is compelling enough to draw an audience.
So, in terms of the direction that you have in with the project, in this particular case, there was a direction, right? The direction was we're here to document the rise and fall of the death row record label, right?
Absolutely.
And in terms of how Mr. Davis would fit into the idea behind it, is that it's with the death of Tupac Shakur and the shooting of Marion Chignon.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of what you were doing, though, fair to say that you had a direction. This is where you wanted to go with the project, right?
It's an important element of the story, but
Right.
it's not my final destination. My final destination is revealing the entire story of Death Row Records, which includes this unfortunate chapter.
Sure. And you want to be accurate about what you're presenting in your presentation.
Yeah, to the best of my ability.
Right. And so in this case, you turn to Greg Kading and this other person, I'm sorry, what was his name again?
Mike Dorsey.
Mike Dorsey, for their verification of what was accurate and what was not, right?
Yes.
Now, do you recall a person by the name of Tara Long?
Yes.
Who's Tara?
Tara was the head of E1 at the time.
Okay. And she was involved with the project on some level, right?
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I think she was maybe pivotal in bringing Keefe in. And I'm not sure how Greg and Dorsey came, but maybe through her, maybe through Creature. But again, they were there before it came on.
Sure. And in terms of Tara's participation, can you tell the jury what contract was set up between Duane Davis and the company?
I cannot. I don't know what the details of the contract are.
So you never saw the contract?
No.
And you don't know, you can't tell this jury, for instance, how much money was promised to Mr. Davis as a result?
No, I can only guess because I handed him a check at one point, or various checks at some point, and I don't, you know, I think I remember the installments were like in the 5,000s or something. But
Right.
I'm just not sure.
And so, and you had represented to the jury before on the state's direct that you believe there was one check, but now you're thinking, okay, it may have been installments of checks, multiple checks, right?
It could be, yes.
And the person that would have the most information about something like this would be Tara Long, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, the terms of the agreement was that he was going to come in, give his interview, and then leave, right?
I'm not sure what was agreed upon.
Now, you did how many interviews with him?
2.
Why?
2 and the one in Vegas.
Right, but the 2 that were in studio, why did you do 2?
As I recall, he came in to do 1, and he was not dressed for the interview appropriately. I think he came in shorts and a T-shirt or something like that. And I thought that he was going to back out, so I asked him to sit down so that we can go through some of the questions. And so we did. And then he ultimately decided to leave, and then chose to come back in a suit and tie. And that's actually the interview that you see the most.
I see. So what he came back in is what was basically requested of him to do, is to dress a little bit better than what he dressed that day.
Yeah, although I think that was his idea to dress better.
Now, in terms of the first interview, do you have a recording of that?
I don't have a recording. I have a transcript.
Okay. Is that the transcript that was referred to earlier? Is that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
Now, that's all right. And now, in terms of your recollection, is the next day you come back and you have the interview with Mr. Davis, the one that we're seeing snippets of right now?
I'm not sure if it was the next day, but it was sometime after.
Now, in your presentation, obviously, there is a lot of, I don't know what you would call it in Hollywood, like tones, ominous tones, as you know, Mr. Davis is walking down the street. That's obviously for some type of cinematic effect, right?
Yeah, we're underscoring whatever the drama of it.
Right, and it's just to sort of build up an interest in whatever that scene is.
Right.
Okay, so the view of Mr. Davis walking, can you tell us where he was walking and why he was walking in the direction that he was being filmed?
The one in Vegas, you mean?
Yeah.
He says it on the clip. He was at Koval and Flamingo, and he was there to kind of walk us through what happened that night.
Okay, in terms of walking us through, for instance, do you film him being exactly in the lane, pointing to the other lane and saying, this is the lane where this happened, this is the lane where the women were, or anything like that? Do you have that?
Don't remember exactly.
So he's standing on the corner of Koval and Flamingo on some corner and saying, this is where my life changed.
Yes.
Something like that,
Yes,
right?
correct.
But in terms of specifics of where it was that everyone was located on the street, did you film him pointing to exactly where this was, exactly where that was, here I was there?
I think we did.
Okay, and that would be in...
I don't have that. I don't think we have that transcript.
Okay, and once again, you don't have the transcript, you think you did, but as you're sitting here right now for this jury, you can't show that, right?
I can't show it, and I'm not entirely certain. But I would think that if I brought him there, it would be more than just to appear on camera for 30 seconds and say my life has changed.
Sure.
And I do recall being there for much longer than that.
Okay. And once again, it should be captured on film somewhere, if it's from you guys. Okay, but it's not here today.
No.
Now, in addition to that, your testimony is that you had, there were parts of the video that shows like, I guess there was like a proffer version. You said there was a proffer and there was a guy with a beard. Is that in the proffer?
There was a guy with a beard?
Yeah, there was. I saw a snippet and there was a glance, but it was a guy with a beard and you said it was the proffer. Is it just the audio recording with a backdrop of some guy with a beard?
So what we did was we had the proffer audio. We had the interview that I conducted in the studio, and then we had some recreations where we brought an actor and some actors to kind of recreate the setting of the proffer. And in that, Greg Kading appears. He's visibly in the room, listening to the actor who's playing Mr. Davis.
Oh, I see. So it was just a
reenactment,
dramatization. Is what you
Correct.
would call it. Okay. Now, when you're setting that up and that's happening, that's Greg Kading's direction, right?
Direction?
Meaning that he's telling you here's how everything was, or this is how the room looked, or something along those lines.
To some degree, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
there were some camera considerations there too.
And Greg Kading was being paid for his work?
Was.
Now, he also, at some point, shares with you, I would assume, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that there was a proffer, and the proffer was done in 2008.
Yes.
Now, your project was when again? I'm sorry.
Say that again?
When was your project? When was
2017 is when we filmed. 2018 is when it aired.
Okay. And you're hearing this from Greg Kading, and you understood, I was imagining, based upon the proffer, that there was an agreement that, hey, he's going to give information, and on that information, he was not going to be prosecuted, right?
Yes.
Was there some condition that would, if there was a violation of that condition, would then cause the proffer to be made public?
Objection 1 calls for speculation. 2, legal conclusion. The court's already ruled on the admissibility of the proffer.
What's your response?
It's, well, let me rephrase the question, Judge.
Okay, so I'll sustain the objection and you'll rephrase.
Let me ask you this. So, in terms of your interview, is that a yes?
No, I'm listening.
I know, but once again, when you say I just have to make sure it's clear for the record.
I'm just listening to the question, so it's not a yes.
Okay. In terms of your recollection, was there a reason why, in your recollection, Mr. Davis could give his information to you?
Why he could?
Objection calls for a legal conclusion.
There's no legal.
Why he could?
Are you just asking if he told him, or?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to rephrase a little bit.
Did Mr. Davis, did you ever find out as to why Mr. Davis gave this interview to you in 2017?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Did you at any point during the time period ever know if Mr. Davis had violated the terms of his property?
Objection.
New approach.
So when you set up, or at least was the director or the producer of the project, at that particular point, all you know is that Mr. Davis is in front of you to give an interview.
Yes.
And when you had an opportunity to sit down with Mr. Davis, you went through an interview, and I want to make sure I'm clear here. Was the interview done in a way where he promised to tell you the truth?
No. I mean, I would assume that he would tell me the truth.
Sure. But once again, though, it's not like you're sitting here right now where you swore to tell the truth, that you had your under oath.
Correct.
And with regard to the information you did receive from Mr. Davis, did you at any point verify any of it?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's partly why I had Mike Dorsey in another room.
Sure. So it would be Mike Dorsey and or Greg Kading confirming the information that you are getting from Mr. Davis.
Correct.
Now, in the event, though, that you believe that Mr. Davis was not giving you the information that was consistent with Mr. Kading or Mr. Dorsey's interpretation, what would have to happen at that particular point?
Well, I mean, I also conducted 30-plus interviews, so some of those other interviews in the show would corroborate what he said or not.
But once again, I'm asking you specifically about Mr. Davis.
No, I'm talking about Mr. Davis's interview.
Sure.
He provided some details in that interview that I not only did I corroborate those with Mr. Dorsey or Kading, but I interviewed people like Mob James. I interviewed other people who could corroborate certain aspects of his story as well.
Okay, so Mob James, you relied on his credibility, what you learned from him in order to determine that guy's credibility?
No, I'm just saying there's just a big picture. I can't specifically say, oh, this little aspect of it was corroborated by Mob James. I'm just bringing him up as an example.
Sure.
There are many other people that I interviewed as well.
And once again, I want to make sure,
including the two authors of the books that I cited earlier.
right, and that would have been Kathy Scott,
yeah,
and then also
Ben Westhoff, I think his name is.
Okay. And what you're telling us is that their books corroborated what parts, what details of his representations?
It's too general a question to answer right now from memory.
Well, is there any other way for you to remember it? I mean, did you write anything down in preparation for your testimony here today?
No, but I did prepare for the interview based on what I had read.
Now, in once again, so your recollection is you used Kathy Scott's book and you used the other book as a way for you to determine whether or not Mr. Davis was accurate in what he said?
No, just the circumstances of the murder, like, you know, who the players were, et cetera, et cetera. What,
Yeah. And fair to say,
I mean, again, I'm speaking very generally.
fine, but in terms of the books themselves, were they books in which only you can get a hold of, or were these books accessible by the public?
They're accessible.
You purchased these books.
Of course.
And in terms of the information that you had before you, was readily available information either through Greg Kading's book, or in terms of Kathy Scott's book, or this other person's book?
Could you repeat the question?
The information that you were comparing was information that was readily available in Greg Kading's book, Kathy Scott's book, or this other book you had mentioned before, Ben something, Original Gangsters, the name of the book. Is that yes?
Yes.
Now, after the series had been put together, did you at any point ever ask Mr. Davis to come back and just double check the series before you published it?
No. It's not common practice.
Sure. It's not common practice, meaning you are the one at the end to determine in which direction you want the presentation to go,
Yes.
right? And that's, I would imagine, some type of artistic license giving to you and your people.
Sure, yeah. The subject of the interview agrees to the interview with those conditions generally.
Right.
And there's a release form that person signs.
And do you know the whereabouts of Tara Long now?
I do not.
Do you know if she's still working in the industry?
Not sure.
One moment, please, John.
Of course.
Just one final clarification. In the beginning, we talked a bit about this. I was trying to write it down. Blaze, that very first snippet that we had, it was like
Sizzle reel.
sizzle reel. Okay. Did you conduct? Was that your sizzle reel?
No. I mean, it was for the same project, but it preceded me.
Right. In terms of that sizzle reel, do you know how it was created?
I don't know the circumstances. I know he was brought. That's the studio we shot in, so I'm familiar with where it took place, but I don't know who did it, when it was done, or anything like that.
And so, in terms,
I was just going to add really quickly that the clip that was shown is sort of a composite between the sizzle reel and then like a promo that BET actually did for the show. So somebody put that together, unbeknownst to me, or away from my control.
Okay. And so, but you don't know who that was. And is that a no?
No. Yeah,
and with the way it was filmed and the reels and so forth, you don't have access to those reels as all either.
Of that sizzle reel?
Yes.
In particular, no, I do not.
And I'm sorry, I don't know if I had asked you this question. I just want to make sure I did or not. The actual contract itself, did you ever see it for yourself?
I did not.
And is it something that you would have signed as the producer or what do they call that? Producer or?
Showrunner?
Yes.
Is that something that I would have done?
Yes.
In some cases I have.
But in this case, you did not.
No. It just these are the terms that came with the job.
Right. Was there any residuals here given to Mr. Davis as a result of his interview?
Residuals?
Meaning that did he get any type of like percentages if
Now that I know
documentary
of, and that's unlikely for this type of show or project.
Can you?
Okay, Nicole. Yeah, a lot of things is going on with this guy that's talking about the video. Shows some things. They're now coming back from a recess, because this next, uh, they're back discussing the case. But we don't have to talk about that as far as the preliminary stuff. Um, in terms of what's actually going on with the case right now, the evidence is coming in, and the prosecution right now is their case. Once they close, then it's the defendant's case. They take over to defend their position. So what's going on now is it's the prosecution case putting in front of the jury their case. After they close, then that's when the defense goes ahead and present their case. That's not what's happening right now.
Okay.
So they're talking and making some rulings on some other proceedings going on. In a different proceeding, because they just came back on a different channel. They're coming back with the stuff. But if you wanted to talk about, because we've got a lot of footage of what's going on today, and we can also talk about, Dolly Parton, or anything else you want to pick up as far as current events.
Okay,
No,
no, I'm cool with just talking about the Tupac trial, because there is a lot going on with it. I didn't know that the prosecution brings their case first and then the defense.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So that's what's going on now. Right now is we got the prosecuting presenting their evidence against Chief PD, and then after that, that's when the defense gets a chance to present their case as the reason why he's not guilty, or why the prosecuting side has not met their burden of proof. In other words, beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's what this is all about. Beyond a reasonable doubt. And it is, if you have a big, you're going to decline. So what we'll do is because they're going to call this other guy up real quick, and we'll take a look at this real quick, and then
so we're not going to give no commentary on it?
Yeah, we are right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we are right now. Matter of fact, we're gonna talk about it as it goes along. We're going to be a little bit bigger.
Swear the testimony you're about to give in this
we're
section
going to talk
shall
about
be
it
the truth,
as it
the whole
goes
truth,
along.
and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You may be seated.
Because now this is current. This is we're up to
May I
date
please
now.
have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
My name is Adam Stair, ADAMSTOEHR.
All right, thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Stair, how are you employed?
I am an electronic evidence specialist for the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
And how long have you been an electronic discovery specialist with the District Attorney's Office?
About 3.5 years now.
Okay, and what are your job duties entail?
We collect evidence from various databases, and we download it and upload it into our case file for the attorneys.
And you also ensure that those pieces of evidence are distributed then to defense counsel?
Yes, we prepare them for discovery, and we send them
so we're current. This is what's going on right
I'm going to
now.
ask you particularly about things I asked you to do in this case. Did I ask you to obtain YouTube videos of the defendant, Mr. Davis?
You did.
And did you do that?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that there were a number of videos?
Yes, that is fair to
So
say.
obviously,
And then, did I next ask you
about
to reduce those videos to just a small number of brief clips for the purposes of the presentation today?
You did.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Do you recognize what State's Proposed 165 is?
I do.
What is State's Proposed 165?
Is a CD of YouTube exhibits.
And does this CD contain the actual videos that you
Yeah,
compilated and then
this is live. Both because you're playing on two different channels. So we're,
Your
yeah,
Honor,
we're
at this
live.
point, I'm going to move State's Exhibit 165.
Any further objection, Mr. Stamps?
No, Your Honor.
All right, over objection, they will be admitted.
At this time, we're going to publish State's Exhibit 165.
You may.
Before we get into this, again, these are very small snippets of much larger, longer videos.
Yes, very much longer interviews.
You want to go in order? Or?
Let's do
You and Orlando and everyone else meets up, but you guys don't have any guns.
Who said that?
Well, it was in the book. Until Von Zip came in the picture.
All right, let's. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, but it is in the book.
Okay, yeah. Let them read about it.
Okay, and I guess Foxy Brown was with Zip.
Let them read about it.
Okay. Well, according to the book, which there's going to be a link in the video that you could actually order from.
That's right. Matter of fact, let me see my book.
You want to go ahead and show the book?
Yeah, let's show the book. Yeah, this is my book here. I would like you guys to buy it and get the real truth instead of from a cop or some fucking industry people, some bullshit. You getting it from the real motherfucker. So go get the book, and you can get the real truth about this whole situation. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read from the book passage.
Okay.
On getting a gun for the Tupac hit. While we were waiting for the valet to bring out our cars, Zip seized the opportunity and called me over to his Benz. Zip was a big-time New York player, pimp, and hustler who used to come out to California and handle his business and kick it with us sometimes. As I walked up to the driver's side, I noticed the rapper Foxy Brown was in the car with Zip. So he instructed her to step out of the car and motioned for me to jump in. Zip had a hidden compartment, and he opened up, reached in, and pulled back a 40 Glock. He turned to me and said, "It's time to get the money."
Like I say, get your $20 and read about that part.
I'm going to play the second file.
You had cancer at one point?
Yeah.
You beat it.
I beat it, yeah.
It was a colon cancer?
I told you I beat 3 of the baddest entities in the world. United States government, fucking cancer, and the streets.
And then one last time.
Let me tell you something, my brother. Tupac never jumped on him. He was by himself. He didn't. My nephew never jumped on no fucking Tupac. Come on, man. Tupac was wrong with 2 left fucking shoes, man. I mean, don't you think he was wrong? Honestly.
I mean, yeah, I think he could have, reacted in a better way.
You listen, homie. You don't think that man is wrong?
He could have reacted in a better way, I guess.
I'm talking. Vlad is his fucking biggest fan. He admitted that man is wrong, man.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, he was wrong, man, but that was only done out of loyalty, man.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. He never jumped. My nephew didn't jump on him. He jumped on my nephew, a kid, man. My nephew was a fucking kid. Them was grown-ass men, dude. You know what I'm saying? He was a fucking kid, dude. That's why he had on that jersey. He's a fucking kid, dude. You know what I'm saying? They was wrong. My nephew never jumped on him. They jumped on my nephew. My nephew didn't throw a punch, man. Shit was wrong, dude. Jumped on the fucking kid, dude.
And then, as part of your duties working for the Clark County District Attorney's Office, did you also receive a video from the courtroom proceedings in this case?
I did.
And did you receive that one view from a television network and another view that you synced up?
Yes, I did.
And how do you do that?
I use Adobe Premiere Pro. Took both videos, entered them into the same timeline, and then set them side by side. And
yeah, what you pay?
Number one, his nephew wasn't a kid. He was 20, and Tupac was 25.
Okay.
Tupac was known for taking on the dude. But they could have took on him too. They didn't have to kill him. And Keefe D had no remorse for being a part of the death, for actually killing somebody over a fight.
Okay. All right, that's your take. I got you. Right on.
166.
His own defense. He's telling on himself. They're, like you see, they're using videos in the trial.
Right.
In my opinion, that's all they gotta use. But I understand they gotta get forensics and all of this stuff. But in my opinion, that's all they gotta use. He told it under a legal proffer, right? He told what he did. He admitted his guilt there, and then he admitted it in the book in detail, and then he admitted it on every podcast that he could.
Yeah. Well, he made a good point when he said, even though he did say that his nephew was a kid, 20 years old, he was over 18. So basically, he was not what you call a kid, and he was not. He was not wrong when he said that they jumped on his nephew. His nephew didn't jump on him. So that point, he made a good point there. And that's that doesn't say that they should have took those steps, the steps that they did take. But the point is that no, his nephew did not jump on anybody, but he should have been involved with what they did.
Right.
Well, shit, they trying it.
I didn't break the thing that fucking Greg hated the thing. Shit.
I just wish you would have never did, dog. Just let that. You would probably would have been there. No, I forgot. I just wish you would have never talked to them, man.
Yeah, you're right. I know. I should have just went on and did that little.
Stop doing all them interviews and that. Just never did none of that shit. Just I should have said whatever happened.
Yeah, you're right.
Everybody, that shit all over. All you see on Instagram, that all that shit. I'm like, damn, this shit is viral.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Starr, you've listened to this calls maybe one or two or more times. Is that fair?
That's fair.
In terms of editing it, is it fair to say that while some of the audio is a little bit garbled, upon hearing it a number of times, you're able to discern some of the words that are being stated?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that Mr. Davis says they're trying to use my words against me?
Yes.
And that he says, I didn't break the thing, Greg Kading broke the thing?
Yes.
Okay. Now can we play the next call at 10:21:23?
Yeah, they ain't got shit though. They trying to use my statements against me. You gonna lose, dude. I was paid stupid ass dude. Yeah.
Okay.
I was paid to say that, stupid motherfucker. You can't use my shit against me, you stupid.
I mean, what's this book they say you wrote?
Yeah, I did. After that dude did that, I didn't breach that contract. He did.
Okay.
They money off Carrot Top. You know what I'm saying? Oh, bitch. He had my life fucked up. I crawled up under a rock for 6 years. And I just got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Let them know the motherfucking truth. Bitch, you ain't just got me, motherfucker. You niggas around me got you for me. That Dirt Rock, all them son of a bitches. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. Even my boy DeRoe down the street from you. Little Rizal, all them motherfuckers. Oh, like, damn. You know, all that shit. You know?
And similarly, have you listened to this call more than one time?
I have.
And is it fair to say that Mr. Davis says they're trying to use my words against me?
Yes.
And in fairness, Mr. Davis, he does say, I was paid to say those words.
Yes.
And then he says, when he's asked about what's that book you wrote, he says, yeah, I wrote that book.
Yes.
And then later on he says, I'm going to quote, let the motherfuckers know the truth.
Yes.
Okay. And then he later on says, regarding Greg Kading, you didn't get me, and then says some people who actually did get him.
Yes.
Okay. Can we play the 11:9:23?
deadline. So I'm gonna call Edie. I'm gonna call him today, and then when you call me later on tonight or tomorrow, I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Love, my bro.
All right, I'm looking out for you, big dog. All right.
Once I get home, man, we rich.
Oh, of course. Of course.
All right, I got to tell Keith, too, you know what I'm saying? Don't throw that motherfucking shit up in your face. We be mad the motherfucking 10 years later. That series still going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make us want to, you know, I got to tell that nigga, I got blood on my money. All right, what's up, bro? Okay.
All right, big dog. All right. Talk to you later. Peace.
Similarly, had you listened to this call a number of times?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that Mr. Davis says, I have blood on my money?
Correct.
And then the last call from July 5th, 2024.
I was going way before that dude. I was way out there before him, dude. I know Easy and Dr. Ray and put them on, motherfucker. Don't need this little faggot. You know what I'm saying? Pick up in fucking prison and get fucked in the ass. Fucking icon. Police and all that, raping little girls, jumping on little kids in the fucking hallway of the fucking casino. And that dude's a piece of shit. You know?
Yeah, bro, they making this shit way with it, like,
Straight.
Talking about your icon, where?
Icon, my ass. I don't want none of my kids like that motherfucker, faggot.
Okay, and similar to the previous three calls, have you listened to this call a number of times? And is it fair to say that well, he says a lot, but in particular, he says he's complaining about somebody jumping on little kid in the casino, in the hallway of the casino, that he's a piece of shit.
Yes.
Court's indulgence. State will pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Stamp, cross-examination.
No cross-sign.
Ladies and gentlemen, any of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Starr. You're free to go. State who's your next witness.
Judge, reserving the right to confirm with the clerk that everything that we've offered has been admitted. At this point, the state will rest.
Do you want to come up and review it, or have you already done
I've
it?
checked. It's just the last three exhibits, actually, is the last one we're going to confirm.
Okay.
Can we address 31?
Oh, yes, I forgot to address 31. So 31 was a duplicate.
Okay.
So we never offered 31. We just need to make a record that 31 was a duplicate of, you know what exhibit it is? Of 30. Yeah, it's a duplicate of 30.
Okay.
So the clerk asked me to put that
So
on.
31 should just be blank. There should be no exhibit attached to that.
Well, it's marked as a proposed exhibit. It's just not admitted
Correct.
as a duplicate.
Okay, sounds good. Defense, we're moving into your case in chief.
Yeah, maybe your question.
You may.
Yeah, every time they have a witness up, then they want to, they make the foundation, and then when they get the foundation, and that's when they put in the exhibit. So that's.
What do you think about what the witness said?
He really didn't. In my opinion, he just okay. So the witness testimony. Well, he's just trying to say that that he, he's that he worked for the district attorney YouTube channel, based on what he got from the. It's supposed to be some small clips, right? Or do you remember that?
Played. You're talking about. We're talking about those clips of PPD.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah. See, so they was playing the tapes. He's saying with his primary reason for was up there was to set the foundation for where the videos came from, which was off the YouTube channel. Okay, he didn't say he taped the videos. He was saying that he was the person for working for the district attorney that got the video tapes off of YouTube.
Okay.
And then they started playing the tapes, what he got off of YouTube as the personnel working for the district attorney's office.
So what
So
do you think about those tapes?
tapes are, pretty much he's saying that he got paid to say that now. He's saying that he's trying to say because based on the woman that was saying that, hey, look, you going viral, and you need to quit talking so much or whatever. She said that something to that effect, and he said that he got paid to say that stuff. So whether or not he got paid is up to the defense to come up with the proof
Mr.
as
Sam,
to how he got
anything you
paid.
wanted to put on record?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to the defense's case in chief, we have witnesses lined up. We cannot make it here today. There will be officers from the Metropolitan Police Department that will testify on behalf of the defense. Because of the fact that they're scheduling, we're unable to get it today. We would ask the court to allow us to start our case in chief tomorrow with a detective and 2 police officers tomorrow.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're way ahead of schedule ultimately. The defense at this point is moving into their case in chief, but doesn't have their witnesses available until tomorrow. So we are going to recess for today and have you guys back here at noon tomorrow. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, the internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. Sorry, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Please rise for the jury.
Okay, so it appears that the defense not the defense, but the prosecution has handed the case over to the defense. So it looks like they're going to be starting noon tomorrow with PPD's portion of the case in his defense.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay. PPD got a lot of detailed information. Number one, that he gave. He even said he even gave the discussion that the shooters had before they passed off the gun, what type of gun it was. So he gave a lot to just be saying something, just to be saying it. And so I guess he's saying he got paid to say those things. And for the book, I mean, that's possible, of course, who knows? But who would say that? It'd have to be a whole lot of money, which it could have been, to make somebody say that they were part of killing Tupac.
Right. Well, what he is saying is thus far. Now, here's another thing that we shouldn't expect. We shouldn't expect that Mr. Davis is going to get up here and testify on his own behalf.
Oh, I'm waiting for that. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I
would be very, 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 very surprised if he did. Okay.
I wouldn't, because he's been so far, and I think the prosecution should call him to the stand.
The prosecution can't actually call him to the stand. Okay.
Oh, they can.
No, they can't.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't call him because he has his constitutional rights not to incriminate himself. In other words, like for example, if he says, for example, he says, "I'm not in my defense, I'm not taking the stand." They can't say they can't drag him on the stand.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they can still request it. They can still request it, right?
They might want that, but they can't. They can request all they want to. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Okay.
No, I know it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm just saying there's no law, no rule against the prosecution calling him to the stand, right? Is there a rule against that?
There is some law, okay, that you do not have to take it. That the defendant defendant does not have to take the stand in their defense.
Okay, so that's fine. It would be even better if his own lawyer brought him on the stand to defend himself, and then that leaves room for the prosecution to cross-examine him because Keefe D is not too bright. The lawyer's not too. His own lawyer is not too bright. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if he did take the stand.
Well, because Mob James, aka James McDonald,
Mhm.
said that he should have been asking those questions, does not mean that his lawyer did not know, was not aware of where he was going to go with it. In other words, it was his job. It was the attorney's job to impeach James McDonald. He
It
didn't
don't
answer
seem
the
like he
question.
did that.
He didn't
It
answer the
don't seem
question.
like he did that. And I'm not
He
even talking
did,
about questions he asked Mark James. I've just been watching parts of the
well,
trial.
he
He
didn't
wasn't
answer
saying
the
anything.
question to get impeached. He kept saying, "You don't want me to answer that question," but he wouldn't answer the question. So to understand this whole situation, says no, a defendant does not have to take the stand to their own defense. Okay, in many legal systems, including the United States, defendants have a constitutional right to remain silent and cannot be compelled to testify against themselves. So that's
No, that they can't make him. What I said is it would not surprise me if he took the stand in his own defense because he's not too bright and his lawyer's not too bright.
well. I don't think that his lawyer is. I'm not saying that his lawyer uh, is, the greatest thing since jurisprudence. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that because James McDonald said that he didn't want to answer the question. We're talking to Keefe D about, why does your lawyer want me to answer these questions? Does not mean that his attorney was not trying to impeach him, because James McDonald does not necessarily seem to be a person with high moral scruples.
Right either.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see, and so you can't necessarily
Just
say,
because
well, I'm not going to necessarily say that the lawyer was making a mistake, because the lawyer may have been trying to impeach him, which means get him to cross his own self up and catch him in a lie. And so, to say that, the lawyer didn't know what he was doing, or he was not too bright because the man said that he don't know why he's asking these questions, does not mean
You're
that
you're mistaking my words. I never said
I'm not talking about what your words are. I'm talking about what the law is, how the law works. I'm not talking
no,
about
but
your words at all.
you are. You're talking about
No,
my
I'm not.
words because you're
No, I'm not.
saying that
Okay.
I'm saying he's
Okay.
not
So,
so
so,
bad because of
so,
what
so
Mark
your
James
words are
said.
what? So your words are what? What is your words? Let me hear your words.
I
I
said
want to hear
he's
what.
not great based on what I've seen in the trial so far, not just because of what Mob James said. I barely even heard the question. He asked Mob James. I just heard Mob James answering it.
Okay. So based on what you just now said, you made an opinion about the attorney not being
Yes,
that bright.
it is my
Okay.
opinion. It is
Right,
my
right. See,
opinion. Mhm.
right. See. And my statement is that doesn't necessarily mean that he was not trying to impeach.
Right, but your statement is only based on me talking about Mom James. I'm not talking about his questioning Mom James. I'm talking
Okay.
about I've been watching other parts of the trial. It's not just what
Well,
he's saying to Mom James.
the
He's
conversation was about what Mr. McDonald, Mr. James McDonald said as to your uh, questioning the competency of the attorney. Now, if you got something else to say, another situation where you feel like he made a mistake somewhere else, you can always say that he made a mistake here, and he made, in your opinion. Yeah, but basically what I'm saying is from my perspective, based on their testimony thus far, and especially when we're talking about Mr. James McDonald not wanting to answer the question,
We're
that
not talking
may,
about that.
well, I am, but you're not. You don't have to talk. I'm talking about specifically about James right now. Specifically about what he said was saying. That doesn't, in my mind, doesn't mean that the man was not trying to impeach James, because that's what his job was. Because he was not a defense witness; he was for the prosecution. So it's always, you know, in their best interest to make any and every prosecuting a witness look bad every
But you
single
can
time.
only impeach somebody if they had already made a statement and you can prove that that statement was false. So I didn't see where he had brought up previous statements of Mob James to say, well, he said this earlier, now he's saying this on the stand. The whole thing is thrown out. That's what impeachment is. He was just asking Mob James. It sounds like, from what I can tell, he was asking Mob James about different gang stuff and how it works in the streets type thing.
Right. Well, the bottom line is this: that James McDonald got on the witness stand and said that he was not the same person that he was back then. That he was doing some things back then that he would not be doing any longer moving forward in life. So he's already made the implication that he was a person working as a soldier. You know, yeah, he wasn't working as a law-abiding citizen or a law enforcement officer. He was
Right.
working as like a mobster. You know, when they said take care of these people, take care of them, and that's basically what he said. He would drag them out. He wouldn't escort them out like the police would. We would drag them out. So that lets you know that his mindset back then was not as a law-abiding citizen. Okay, so that's that's what the jury heard. So irregardless of
None of them were law-abiding citizens. All of them were acting as gang members and gangbangers. So we all pretty much know that. But my point is, you mentioned he's trying to impeach Mob James. How can he impeach him if he hadn't made any previous statements to prove false?
He made statements when he was been asked questions by the prosecuting attorneys. He had been asked questions prior to the defense cross-examining him. So he had already made a statement. Now, what statement was he trying to get him to manifest an impeachment against him? He obviously didn't get that far because the man didn't want to ask any more of his questions. But irregardless,
He answered all of his questions, and then they sent him on his way. That man, Mob James, answered all of that man's
no,
questions.
he didn't. He didn't answer all of his questions. He said he didn't want to answer the question. He turned to Mr. Davis and said, "Why your attorney want me to answer? All it's gonna do is get QPD in trouble, and I'm not trying to send you to prison." That's what he said. So
that statement alone is terrible. That statement alone is completely unhelpful. But after he said that, he answered the question. And whatever his answer was, whatever the question was, and whatever the answer was, it's still portraying them all as gangbangers, reckless. It didn't look good for QPD either, because you're going into his lifestyle back in the 90s where gangbanging was at the tilt. So everybody, all these niggas is killing each other just willy-nilly with no thought and no remorse. And that's all that showed. In my mind, with the questions that the lawyer was asking, for Mob James' answers, he was going deep into how the gang banging culture works. And that, how the fuck is that helpful to Keefe D's case? Because the gang banging culture kills. They will kill you over a fight. So that's one of the reasons that I say his lawyer talked to, right? Why would you go so deep into that thinking of the gangs back then?
Well, I'll say this, okay? we can look at let's look at a few of what Mob James McDonald had to say. We'll have to listen to all of them. We'll just listen to a little bit of it, maybe 5 minutes, and see what the guy says. Okay. So
Okay.
that will clear up some of this, this disagreement that you and I are having right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
James McDonald. JAMES-McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Mr. Paul, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. McDonald, it's fair to say that you're here because of a court order. Is that right?
Correct.
That you didn't volunteer to come or anything like that?
Not at all.
Okay. But you were instructed by a court that you had to attend?
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you about September 7th, 1996. Were you at Club 662?
Yes.
What was Club 662?
It was a club that Suge bought, and we operated it. When he opened, I was head of security through the neighborhood. Just a place to go and hang out.
Did the number 662 mean anything?
Well, to the new guys, that was part of our neighborhood, 662,
okay.
MOB.
Okay, MOB. And when you say MOB, there used to be, before Apple iPhones and those types of things, when you had to have landlines and you pressed numbers, 662, there would be letters under those numbers, and M and O would be under 6. Is that right?
Right.
And B would be under 2?
Yes.
So 662 would be MOB.
Yes.
Okay. When you talk about Suge, are you talking about Suge Knight?
Yes, sir.
How did you know Suge?
He lived in my neighborhood.
And is that in Compton?
Yes.
Okay. When you were at Club 662, you said you were head of security.
Yes.
Was somebody by the name of Reggie Wright Jr. there with you?
Not at that time.
No?
No.
When was he with you?
I got out of prison in 1988. Suge came and got me in 1988. Like 4 days from coming home. Started another company, Burn Hill Records. Then Death Row Records came. Soon as Death Row was launched, Reggie came a few months after that.
Okay, so we're talking about the start of Death Row Records. Reggie wasn't part of Death Row Records initially, but you were.
Yes.
And then Suge Knight, was he the boss of Death Row Records?
Yes.
Okay. Was Suge from the same neighborhood?
From the mob?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Suge was, he was guilty by association.
Okay.
He wasn't from the neighborhood. He lived in the neighborhood. We looked at him as somebody from the neighborhood. When he started Death Row and started to recruit us, then yes, he's from the hood.
So I guess there's a difference between living on a certain street versus being from the hood.
Yeah.
And how would you describe that difference?
I look at it, you have three different type of friends in the neighborhood. You got gang members, you got gang bangers, and you got men that just guilty by association from living in that area.
Okay. And can you tell me what the difference between a gang member and a gang banger is?
A gang member hangs out. A gang banger handles his business, put in work, do what the gang do.
And what was your role with Death Row?
I was the guy that if something happened, Suge would have you take care of that. like Snoop Dogg trial, there was issues up there. I was sent up there to make sure those problems didn't happen again.
And are those problems, and I'm not asking you to get into specifics, but are those problems meaning issues with other people who might be gangbanging or might be trying to threaten folks that have?
Correct, yes.
And you are somebody that Suge relied on to be able to protect his roster of music artists and other things like that.
Correct.
And after you were asked to help out with Snoop, did Snoop have any other problems?
No, we didn't have one issue at court.
Now, I'm going to ask you, fast forward a little bit, to, were you familiar with the Southside Compton Crips?
Yes.
Would you say they were somebody you were in alliance with or a rivalry with?
Rival.
Okay. And would sometimes those, that rivalry get violent?
Anytime you're dealing with the gang life, it's going to be violence at any given time.
Are you familiar with somebody by the name that went by the name of Tupac Shakur?
Yes.
How are you familiar with Tupac?
He was assigned to death row.
And when he was signed with Death Row, was he also would he also hang out with you guys?
He hung with my brother now. Yeah. Not me.
Who is your brother?
Alton McDonald, Buntry Ave.
Did he went by Buntry?
Yes.
Now, during this time, is it fair to say that Mr. Shakur had an issue with rappers from the East Coast?
I think Tupac inherited the beef between Suge Knight and Puck.
Okay, that was your perspective of it.
That's all it was. And we all fell. Some of us fell victim to it because we allowed ourselves to be a part of the BS, should I say. And that was a situation between record companies, not gangs. So technically it wasn't our business. But when you had 20 men just fresh out of prison and didn't have a way of getting the things they wanted, getting a paycheck from Suge, we did almost anything and everything to get that paycheck.
Now, was there another gang that was associated with Bad Boy Records, the East Coast record company that Puffy had?
The only one I know of is Southside.
And did that escalate the tension between Mob Piru and Southside?
At the time, there was no at war, it was peace. And when the two record companies got into it, Bad Boy went to Keepy Dinham and Suge came to us. So that intertwined everything and we had issues.
Do you recall any instances that you were at where there were those issues manifested itself in terms of violence?
Are you serious? Don't ask me that right here. I can't say that on both sides. When each neighborhood met each other, there was a lot of tension. I'd say that.
Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about September 7th, 1996. Mm-hmm. Were you in Las Vegas on September 7th of 1996?
Yes.
Why were you in Las Vegas?
To run the security at 662. We were having issues with individuals that said that they were coming for whatever reason they was coming for and to come to 662. My job was to not let that happen.
Similar to the kind of security you were asked to apply in the whole Snoop Dogg situation.
It didn't have nothing to do with Snoop Dogg. It was, everybody came, well, Suge and Buntry and them, his entourage, everybody went for the fight. My job and all of my people were there to make sure nothing funny happened at 662. So we were the fall guys. So if something happened, we was the one that's going to go to jail for it, prepared to do that. So nobody else was going to come up there and disrupt it in that manner. But if anybody remember that night, it was so many Metro and everybody there. No, neither side could have did anything. So it was calm, it was peaceful.
So when you say there's so much Metro there, you're talking about so much Metro at Club 662?
It was police all over the place.
Now you said you were there to be on the lookout for something. What were you?
You said I was on the lookout for nothing.
I apologize. You were there. You were there in order to ensure there weren't any problems. Is that fair?
To make sure everything was good.
And because you had heard there might be some issues.
Correct.
And what were the issues that you were concerned about?
Individuals coming up there creating an issue we was having with different sides of from with Crips, period.
Yeah. So you were worried about Crips. Not worried, I'm sorry. You were there providing security to ensure that Crips did not initiate any violence at Club 662.
Not just Crips, that nothing would happen.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. And then when you were there, was Reggie Wright Jr. with you that night at September 7th, 1996 at Club 662?
Yes.
What was Reggie doing there?
Reggie's job was to watch me and make sure I don't get in trouble. Everybody knew how I was. So Reggie, everybody else went to the fights. Reggie was there to watch me with the people that was there.
And I'm guessing that you were not the only person there making sure there wasn't any problems at Club 660.
I'm positive it was 30, 40 Pyrus there.
And again, that was to make sure that there wasn't any violence that occurred at Club 660.
Right.
When at some point that night, do you learn that Tupac or Suge had been shot?
That night, yes.
Can you tell me how you learned about that?
Well, people was coming back and was explaining that Tupac and Suge just got shot. Everybody was in a uproar. A lot of people started leaving, trying to get over there on Cobalt. We couldn't leave because we didn't pay to do this here. It wasn't too long after people started coming back, like Heron came back and went to the hospital. The majority of the people was leaving and then coming back because that night they said Tupac was going to be all right. And even Suge came back with a little bandage on his head. And we thought everything was good. People kept partying.
So, and when Suge came back, you said he had a bandage on his head, but
I mean, the dude said he got shot, but he was grazed, a little scar, but nothing penetrating.
Some people would describe being shot in the head even slightly.
He described that, I mean,
Yeah.
he's wrong.
All right. So when you find out, well, let me ask you this: was Reggie with you when you found out that Tupac and Suge were shot?
Yes.
And did it appear to you in any way that Reggie Wright Jr. was coordinating the murder of Tupac Shakur?
Impossible.
I mean, and I say this because you're aware that there have been some conspiracy theories that Reggie Wright Jr. is responsible for the murder of Tupac.
And it's so not true. His father was implicated, and his father had something to do with it. Reggie Wright used to be a police officer. And here again, I've been knowing Reggie Wright over 50 years. His daddy, as a police officer, patrolling my neighborhood. He done took me to jail many times when I messed up. If Reggie killed Tupac, then death row is over with. Tupac was the money source. Tupac was that guy at death row. So Reggie would have had a problem if he would have did that. And Suge, I truly believe Suge would have opened his mouth if Reggie betrayed him like that. So people say what they want to say.
After that night, do you stick around in Las Vegas or do you go back to Compton?
Well, I stayed in Vegas and we left that morning because we knew we was going to have neighborhood issues, and everybody left and went back to Compton.
Why were you thinking you might have neighborhood issues?
Well, you asking me some. The issues that we was having was heated, and Compton was on fire at the time, and things were happening. And me personally, staying in Vegas wasn't worth it. That man in the hospital, it's time to go and protect your home front and be prepared for whatever happened there. You know what I'm saying? Like the other side was being prepared and was prepared to do things because Orlando got beat up in there. And that's something you don't tolerate. So you was going to get some repercussion from that and everything else that was going on. So living this life, you got to be ready. If you not, you might as well just lay down.
Now, you weren't there for the beating of Orlando Anderson at the MGM, were you?
No, I was.
Yeah, like we talked earlier, you were at 662.
Yeah.
But are you aware of why Orlando was targeted?
I'm aware of a lot of things. Things that was going on. People ain't talked about it in 30 years. Today ain't one of them. I don't mean to be funny, but here's the thing. A lot of things happened that night. A lot of things happened weeks and weeks after that night. Me or anybody else bringing up the dead is wrong. A lot of people got hurt behind this situation in itself. Living the life and how we lived in Compton is one thing. You bring back all of the guys that made it, like me, I'm 61 years old now, to rehash and relive this situation again. I told every attorney in here that tried to get me to come here, you better treat me as a hostile witness. And I think that's where I'm about to go now, because you're asking me questions, I can't answer those questions.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Then I'm not going to speak on Orlando. Let me ask you something about yourself. There was a rumor that Tupac had knocked you out one time.
I'd have killed him.
That would have been your response if that happened.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you and everybody else. I said it on my podcast show. Him, Suge, and my brother. I'd have shot all three of them if he touched me.
Okay.
That's how I was living.
Why is that?
That's what I was back then.
And so, is it fair to say that your reputation and your standing in the neighborhood would require you to do something if you're going to get punked by somebody like Tupac?
You don't have a choice, or you can't be there.
I'm sorry. We're doing some side talk here. No, that's my fault. I asked, would that being in the life that you were, if somebody like Tupac is punking you, like by punching you in the face or something like that, you would have to retaliate, or you would lose your place in the neighborhood.
You would have to go back home and fight everybody that called you a punk. You would have to go. There's some rules that you roll with, and some rules you just got to handle. Certain things need to be dealt with, adjusted, living that life. And when I was living that life, it wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts. It wasn't no, oh, you get a pass. No, I'd have shot him, to be honest.
So then you had mentioned, I'm not going to ask you to go into any specifics, but you had mentioned that after what happened here in Las Vegas, there were issues between the neighborhoods. How long did that last? Was it like, all right, one day we're good, everything's done, or did it last for longer than that?
No, it was tension in the air for quite a long time, until I guess both sides, and he might agree, just said, let that shit go. Because it really wasn't our beef. This was between Suge Knight and KBD. And people put themselves in situations, like myself. I'm guilty as everybody else. Like myself, I put myself in a situation to protect something and somebody that didn't have nothing to do with me. I did it for a paycheck. I did it on some just because. I'm older now. I get it. But we did things for all the wrong reasons at that time, in them days.
Court's indulgence. Your Honor, State will pass the witness.
Okay. Cross-examination, Mr. Sims.
Sir, have you ever met me?
Excuse me?
Have you ever met me before?
No.
Have you ever spoken to the district attorneys prior to your testimony here today?
Once.
And is that what you're referring to as the time that you told them, like, hey, any attorney here is better treat me as hostile because...
Yeah, I told him I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Now, a couple questions for you, sir. And this is more for clarification. So on the night of the murder, you were working as the head of security for 662.
Yes.
Explain for us a little bit about the club. Was that Suge's club or was it somebody else's club?
Suge, to my understanding.
Okay. And when you were there as head of security, were you there, had you worked there as head of security prior to this particular night?
We did an event there once before. Yeah, same thing.
Okay. And on this particular night, was this an event like some type of fundraiser or something for police officers or anything like that? Do you recall what the event was for?
We wouldn't have been there.
Okay.
No.
What was the reason for the event?
It was Mike Tyson fight. Tyson was coming back. Tupac was supposed to perform like other people, and we was there for that.
Okay. Can you describe for us how big the club is so that we can...
30 years ago, a little bit bigger than this room.
So it's relatively, it's not like a two-story. It's
small.
And in terms of the club itself, you were there and you were sharing with us that there were other people that were there.
Yes.
Law enforcement as well as people from your side of town.
Oh, law enforcement was outside. The Metro was saying, why y'all putting words in my mouth?
Sure.
They were outside. We were on the inside. Wasn't no law enforcement mingling with us.
So, as far as you know, law enforcement wasn't hired by Reggie Wright to provide additional security?
No, this was Metro posted up all over the place.
And so they were there specifically just to, harass or just send a warning or what?
No, they were there. Like when you have events in Las Vegas, everybody knows. You're going to see Metro here, every block.
Yeah.
They was posted up, which they do all the time.
But you're telling me that as head of security, you do not know or you don't believe that Reggie Wright hired the Metro officers to come in?
I know for a fact he didn't hire the Metro police.
Okay. Do you know how many people were on the payroll that night from your security team?
Well, y'all do paperwork different than we did. Our paperwork was getting cash money. Our paperwork was what they call under the table. We had at least 30, 40 of my homeboys there. Reggie Wright Jr. and his security, his company, the people work for him, didn't have nothing to do with what Suge paid us for working. So that was two different entities, Reggie and Suge. The homies was there for Suge Knight. Reggie Wright hired his company to watch over Suge Knight people.
Right.
So his security did like the right thing. My security did what they ain't gonna do. You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
The police gonna walk you out of there. Mm-hmm. We gonna drag you out of there. So it was a difference, but not on the same paper.
Sure. And once again, the intent was to protect 662, right? To protect the club, protect the patrons that were going to go there, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms of your knowledge of what happened on that night, fair to say you weren't present when the shots had rung out.
No, I wasn't there.
Okay. And your testimony is that you had heard from other people initially that, hey, Tupac had been shot.
Yes.
And you had thought maybe other people were maybe relieved, thinking like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, he's gonna be okay.
That's what came back to 662. People that went to the scene, and everybody said Tupac was talking. So everybody came back to the club saying he's gonna be all right. So people just went back to, me.
Right. Now, in terms of the that night, you go back to Compton. You live in Compton.
Yes.
You still live in Compton?
No.
At the time you live in Compton, you go back to Compton, and you tell us that there was a lot of tension. Can you describe that for us when you went back in terms of what kind of tension we're talking about?
You sure you want me to answer that?
Is it going to be graphic?
No, I ain't gonna. I got to raise the word in it, but you asking me a question. I don't. And what I explained to them, I don't want to send him to prison.
Sure.
Even though we don't like each other.
Sure.
I don't want to send you to prison. So that's why I'm here where I'm at and where I am, because I changed my life. I'm raising my grandkids, teaching them never to be like their papa. And here I am explaining to people what I used to be. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that at all. And you asking me questions that can hurt him. And like I told them, I'm trying to avoid to answer the questions that they might look at me and say, something is wrong.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me help you out with this.
Thank you.
So these people right here, what they want to know from you is, did you see who shot Tupac?
I told you no.
Correct. So outside of that question, right, the next question I'm asking you is, when you went back to Compton, was it like a Southside Crip that shoots a Pyru Blood, and then a Pyru Blood shoots a Southside Crip? Is that the tension that we're talking about?
Do I answer this?
That's a straightforward question. It's a yes or no answer.
Okay.
Did you see that?
When I was a part of that life, I was a part of that. And I was, no, because you asking something that's gonna hurt this dude. And when okay, let me stop.
And once again, I want to emphasize.
When we got back to Compton,
okay,
it was a gang war. People were getting hurt.
Okay.
People was being sought. People were looking for certain individuals from his neighborhood,
okay,
as well they did mine.
Okay.
But Orlando, him, and certain other people were being sought because people wanted to kill them.
Sure.
Wow.
Were they the only ones that they wanted to kill?
Am I the only one up in here? No, they weren't the only one.
Okay.
It's his neighborhood in particular.
Right.
But they were the main subjects of a gang war. It was in the middle, such as me.
So you're telling us that people back home somehow had some type of information that said that that guy, as a bunch of other people, were involved in what?
In the murder of Tupac.
Okay.
Period.
My question to you. My question to you.
Stop.
Can you focus on me for a second, sir?
Yeah, I will.
And I apologize. I just want to make sure that we're clear, okay? In terms of that information, none of those people were there, right?
And what people you be speaking on? The people that was already in the neighborhood, or the people that left Las Vegas that same night Tupac was shot to go home, bear their arms, and go to somebody else's neighborhood to look for somebody? They had to pay it back.
So once again, my question to you is that the information that I'm asking about is the people that back home, you're saying were eyewitnesses to this?
How could people back home be eyewitness to something that happened in Vegas? No, that's not what I'm saying.
The people that were here in listen to my question, sir. The people that were here in Las Vegas, you're telling me were eyewitnesses to what happened and went back home. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, the people that was at 662.
Just answer my question, sir. Yes or no?
I can't answer that without a what you call it. You trying to tell me to say something that you're not going to understand. If you let me explain to you.
No, answer my question.
I'm not answering nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, Mr. McDonald, focus for a second.
I am focused. Very
focus on this. My question to you is this. You didn't know what happened that night because you weren't there.
I was at 662.
Right. Do you know who was that was there?
I know everybody that was there.
Okay. Like who?
Talk to your lawyer, man. This dude is true. I'm not going to explain that. I can't answer that.
Okay. Let me ask you this next question then. You are telling us that people back in Compton, for some reason, knew what happened here in Las Vegas.
A phone conversation. People found out when people left Las Vegas the same night Tupac was shot, went straight back to Compton. It only takes 3.5 hours to get home.
Sure.
Yes, it wasn't a problem for people to find out what happened. No problem at all.
They got on their phones, they texted people, they let them know what happened here on the night of the shooting.
Yeah. They had walkie-talkies, they had all kind of phones. They had ways to call people to say whatever. But when people left Las Vegas that same night, after they found out and got in their cars and went home because it was a situation, Pac was shot. Retaliation is a mug. Come on, man. It was for real, for real. All of this was for real.
Now, the night of the shooting, did you have a walkie-talkie, the Nextel thing or something like that?
No.
Did Reggie write?
I don't know what he had. I don't know how much money he had in his pocket. I don't know what he had on his hip.
But you were the head of security, but you're telling us you did not have any.
Right-way security has nothing to do with the gang-banging security, power rules, whatever you want to call it. They had nothing to do with us. The phones that she had for certain individuals, they had the phones. Like the guy that was bodyguard for Tupac that night. Like some of the guys that was at the Tyson fight, like Suge Knight. Certain individuals had phones. Yes, they did.
Okay, so, all right, I get what you're saying. You're not there, but you're saying other people were.
Yes, I'm saying there was a lot of people there.
A lot of people were there at the shooting that took place.
That was in the entourage, yes.
Let's see. Okay, just one final question. You're here today, and I think the state had asked this question under a subpoena. You're ordered to be here today, right?
Yes.
In terms of that subpoena, for instance, is that's the only reason why you're here is because of that subpoena?
I don't have no other reason to be here.
Yeah. In order for you to get that subpoena, you would serve that subpoena back in California?
Yes.
By a police officer?
I don't know. He wasn't in uniform.
Okay. And that order required you to go to a court in California?
I had to go to court in Victorville.
And then that court in California said you have to show up here.
In that court, I cussed them out and told them, you can't make me do nothing.
Right.
And in that court, they told me that I would be in attempted court. Me raising my grandkids, I'm not going to put my grandkids in the car and move somewhere so y'all can't find me. So all that running and living a different life, I ain't doing it. So I agreed to come. And like I explained to everybody in here, you ask me something, I'm going to be honest about. You ask me something I don't want to talk about, you're going to have a problem. Treat me as a hostile witness. You're not going to talk to me and tell me as a grown man what I have to do up here. I'm not finna send him to prison. You are.
You are.
So the accusation now is because of the fact that we're trying to ask you questions, you're blaming it on me.
You asking me questions. If I just answer your questions, we gonna have a problem in here, a misunderstanding. And you're asking me something that wouldn't be good for him.
Right. And once again, I just want to, look, we're just trying to figure out who shot Tupac. You're telling us that you weren't there to see. That's all I want to know. At the end of the day, that's it. right?
Was I in the entourage when Tupac got shot? No.
Okay. Nothing else, right?
I was at 62. I mean, that ain't hard. That's easy math.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything further, State?
Jesus.
All right, we've got one more phase, and then we'll let you out of here.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing no hands, oh, we do have one. Okay, hang on one second.
Okay, so
I want to hear the jury's question. The jury, the only one got sense enough to ask questions.
no worries. You can get it. You didn't even hear it. No worries. Here we go.
Let's hear that and then come back.
To be honest, I don't know if Reggie Wright told his people, all the police officers, not to have guns, and I don't know why. He sure didn't tell us because we had ours. And that's the honor.
All right. Any follow-up based on that, State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense.
I just want to clarify what the witnesses said. You're telling us that you had guns that night?
Yeah.
I just want to know. But you had guns that night, right?
Yes, we did.
All right, thank you.
All right, State. I know you didn't want to be here, but thank you for coming down.
Okay, can I say something? I want to apologize to everybody, but I find this kind of funny. And truthfully, what you're going through, brother, is what you're going through. I didn't want to be a part of that, and I'm not a part of that. So I appreciate everything, and I apologize to all of you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McDonald. You are free to go. State's next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. It's calling Reggie Wright Jr.
Okay, let's talk about it now. We missed the jury's question, but I guess they asked if he had a gun or who had guns.
Yes, well, that's what he asked. I was gonna roll it back because that's all they want to know, if they had guns that night. He said they did. They had guns. So did Reggie Wright have something to do with them saying that he did not to have guns or something like that? But the point is that they had guns, and he didn't tell them that he couldn't have guns. He didn't know what Reggie Wright told his crew, but he couldn't tell them that because they had guns.
See, his testimony, Mob James' testimony is like the first testimony that I had seen in this trial before I went back and watched other parts of the trial, right? So since his, I seen the girl who drove up on the side of Tupac. I saw the testimony of the guy who took the picture of Tupac. I saw the testimony of the guy who made the documentary. And then there was another guy that made a documentary some years later. So I've seen some things since, but Mob James was the first one that I had seen, the testimony that I had seen. So I didn't know who was who. I didn't know, I didn't realize that the prosecution was questioning him first, and then the defense started questioning him. I didn't know, I thought it was all.
Yeah, that was their witness. The prosecution, that was the prosecuting side of the case. That's was his witness. They subpoenaed him to come.
Right. He was a lot, talking about he's a hostile witness. He was a lot less hostile with the prosecution, and he answered every question with no problem. But I wanted to say, when I saw his testimony, that was the first thing that made me think, like, this whole trial is just a sham. It's just absolutely a joke, because I've never seen a trial where, number one, all this laughing and joking is going on, and nobody stops it. And you see at the end when he just apologized to everybody. In a real normal trial, that would be shut down. Like, thank you, Mr. James. You may be excused, or Mr. McDonald, whatever he calls himself. You may be excused. Nobody lets this extra stuff go on in a real court of law. So that was one of the main things that had me looking at this whole trial like it's just a show. It's not really to get to the truth or anything like that. But beside that, Mob James answered every question. He went into more detail than was necessary because when he was going off about the lawyer, about TPD's lawyer, asking him these questions that he don't want to answer, the man was only asking him a yes or no question, but he wanted to give detail as to the what the gang war meant and how it go in the streets. He wanted to give that detail, and the man wasn't even asking for that. And so that hurt TPD's case, are innocent. And when the prosecution asked him first, the prosecution didn't even ask him. He said that he knew that once he didn't stay in Vegas, he went back to LA because they had to protect the home base because he knew all hell was gonna break loose at home. So the prosecution is like, why? Why would it all hell break loose at home? That alone tells you that they knew who the shooter was. They knew it was somebody from LA. And that's pointing right. He mentioned Orlando and the fight. Too many things that he said right at Orlando, which points right at Keefe D, because Keefe D was right in the car with Orlando. And then the defense picks up the same question, like, okay, you told the prosecution that you had to go home and because you knew an all-out war was going to start. Like, why would that be? Why would you do that? Now, that told me that the defense lawyer, wasn't too bright, because that is making it look bad for Keefe D. For you to pick that up and start digging into that question is terrible for your client. So I can see how Mob James is like, man, your lawyer shouldn't be asking these questions. But he's the one who brought the shit up. He's the one who told it to the prosecution. So that's my take on that so far. What's your take?
Okay. Well, my take is that the man didn't want to be there. Period. That's what he said. And any questions having to say that he knew about the shooters, who they were, and what they did, it goes against the code. And they've already calling him. I mean, I heard Suge Knight and you call him Rat James. So he's already, and he said that they went to Victorville and got the subpoena. He got the subpoena in Victor. He went down to, they served him in San Bernardino County because that's what Victorville is. That's where my brother is right now. So he's not in LA County anymore. So he moved out. See?
Okay.
So obviously he moved out of Los Angeles County because something was going on to the point where he figured he would go to some place where he can at least live without having to worry about somebody doing anything to him. But that's basically what he said.
He's there now, not back then, right?
I understand what you said because your equipment.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now, but I couldn't hear you what you said earlier.
Well, now, right? Not back then. Now, like 30 years later. Not back then.
Well, you did it. Your equipment did it again. I'm assuming that you said that he did it. He did it. He moved. He's in Victorville now.
Right.
I'm
that's
not sure what you said.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he's
right.
He's not worried about repercussions of the Tupac murder and all of that now.
Right, exactly. So he doesn't want to start talking about certain things that will say, okay, he's snitching on somebody. He's
You're
telling
saying
on somebody.
he's talking about certain things. He didn't deny any question. He did not answer any question. Did you see a question that he refused?
He did not answer a question. The question was, was anybody there that he knew that was at the shooting? Anybody from the blood people that was at the 662, were they at the scene of the actual shooting? That's what I thought he was saying. He
I
didn't want
mean,
to
he
answer.
wasn't at the scene of
And
the shooting, so he couldn't answer that. He couldn't say yes or no to that because he wasn't at the scene. He said he wasn't at the scene. He didn't
that
refuse
doesn't mean
any
that doesn't mean
questions.
that he doesn't know people. It doesn't mean that he didn't know people that were at the scene. That he didn't know anybody that were, like for example, John was there, Bill was there, so and so told me he was there. He seen this, that, and the other.
That again is
And
hearsay. You know what I'm saying? That again is hearsay. If he
well,
wasn't
well,
there,
well, 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 they obviously the attorney knew enough to know what the answer to the question was going to be coming back. Because if he would have said, "Do you know who was anybody that was at the scene when the shooting took place?" And the guy said, "Yeah, Jim and Bill and Tommy and Jim said that they was there." That would have been inadmissible because that would have been third-party confirmation, basically saying that's hearsay. But if
about
he
what
would
he
have
did
said
say.
that,
What do you think about what he did say? Let's start there.
he didn't say anything. What did he say?
So
He
he
said
watched
he
20
couldn't.
minutes, nothing?
Whatever he said he was going to say something, it was going to be bad for his client. That's what he said.
So
Well, if I
you
say
didn't
something, it's going to be
hear
bad.
him answer the question. You didn't hear him answer none of those questions.
Well, what question did you hear that he answered regarding when the man got when the defense team walked up there and asked him, do you know me? Have you ever seen me before? He said no. So in other words, he was saying that, hey, look, he didn't ask him to come there. He didn't ask him to come. That's what he was saying.
You just played like 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes of him on the stand. We just watched the whole thing together. And every question that was asked, he answered it. And you're sitting here saying he didn't answer those questions now? You're
You
telling
said
me he
every
didn't.
single question. You're saying that he answered every single question, and no, he did not. So what was
So
you
how many
watching?
questions which question did he not answer? Let's start there. Because I heard all the answers, the only ones he didn't answer is what he couldn't answer because he wasn't on the scene of the crime. That's fair. He can't answer who shot Tupac because he did not see it. Baby, you got to go upstairs with that. So am I. Go upstairs with that. You act like you didn't just see what I saw. Weren't we watching the same thing? The prosecution started with
Obviously, we were watching the same thing, but we didn't glean from the same information because you're saying that the man answered every single question, and he did not answer every single question because the man said that he didn't want to answer every question. And he came there as a hostile
he
witness.
didn't want to, but he answered it. Just because he said I'm a hostile witness, and I told them I'm hostile and that I'm not answering anything, but he sat right there and answered every single question. You're
Oh,
saying
let's
you.
go to let's go real quick. We're gonna take it a second to go back where he didn't answer the question because you emphatic about he answered every single question. You want to be right. Well, I'm gonna show you that you're not. That's all I'm gonna do. Yeah.
And you're telling me that you didn't see him answer no questions.
No, he answered. I did not tell you I didn't see him not answer no question. He answered question. He was talking back and forth. Of course, he answered question, but he didn't answer every single question. That's what you said. You said he answered every single question. That's what you said.
Except for the ones that he couldn't. When he wasn't there, when they said, "Did you see who killed Tupac?" He wasn't there, so he couldn't answer that question. And every question that he could answer, he didn't.
Well, let's go to the question where he didn't answer. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm not sitting here trying to be argumentative with you. I'm just gonna take you to the where he didn't answer every single question.
It's literally a waste because I asked you what you thought of what he just said, but that's fine if you want to go back to that.
Well, no, I'm just saying that you want to make your point, which is fine. I don't mind you making your point. Yeah.
The point is correct. It's not just about making my point. We just saw it. So what I also said is, let's start with the questions that he did answer. What is your thoughts on the questions that he did answer, is what I asked you.
The question that he answered, the only thing he was talking about, he said he was a hostile witness. He said he came, he was insecure, he was with security. He was not part of the security with the police officer security person. That was two separate type of security. Their security would walk you out. His security would drag him out. That's what he said. Then they were asking him a question about in the neighborhood, you know, who came back, you know, who was the ones that came back to the neighborhood. And he said he didn't want to answer that question because that was giving implication as to who may have been involved with the shooting. Okay, that's basically what I got out of it. But you know, so that's what the man
So
was saying.
him saying he don't want to answer that because that would implicate Keefy D, is what he said. Not just it would say who may have been involved. He said that would implicate Keefy D, and he don't want to.
Well, also that there was a gang war happening and people were getting shot. He said, and it is what it is. So he didn't want to get involved in claiming who was maybe being murdered and being killed. He didn't want to talk about that. That's what I got out of it. So he didn't answer that question. You know, you said he answered every question. So I'm just saying, okay, well, that's not what I heard. Okay, so you know.
Okay, so with what you heard, though, you don't need to record him. You don't need to record him. With what you heard, though, do you feel like it helped Keefy D's case or hurt his case, or neither one?
This is a criminal case. So they have to prove whatever they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The man did not say that they saw, that people could say that they saw Keefy D on the scene in a white car, only person that said that was him. In other words, he didn't say it. Basically what they're trying to do is to say, from what I'm getting out of this whole thing, is that he was paid to say what he said. He was paid to say what he said.
Just on Mob James' testimony.
Okay, just on his testimony, he could not put Keefy D at the scene.
Correct. He could not.
Right. Yeah, he was at 6'2".
In his testimony, where he said that there was a gang war that kicked up back home because of what had happened in Las Vegas, and because Tupac had beat up Orlando, they knew that they had to heighten security at 6'2", and then after Tupac got shot, they knew that there was going to be hell to pay back home. The
man, we can play the tape, but we don't have to play the tape. We're gonna go by memory alone. No, let's go by memory alone. Let's go by memory alone. That's what you want to do. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go by memory. So this is what he said. He said he asked him if he heard that Tupac got into it with him, and he said no, he didn't. He didn't do it because if he did, I'd have shot him. That's what he said. He said he would shot him. He said the man never got into it with him because if he did, he would have shot him. Okay?
That's terrible. That's good. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a good point. Because that in and of itself, because our brains compare and contrast, right? So, and he's explaining how the gangsters was back in the 90s and how they think, right? So if Tupac would have knocked him out and he would have shot him and anybody that was around him, we know that Tupac he beat up Orlando. So we know from what Mob James is saying alone, we know that type of retribution is paid for beating up somebody or knocking somebody out that is a gang member. So just him saying I would have shot Tupac and Suge and anybody else, that's what Orlando and PPD did.
Okay, well, they got to prove it. Okay, there's still, there's still all this conversation.
Don't you understand? That's why Mob James is there. This is part of the proof. So his part of the proof.
You obviously do not know how the court system works when it comes to the proof. Okay, because first,
why does anybody come to the stand? What he is saying is part of the proof. Do you understand that?
That's for the no. Do you understand? That's for the foundation of the proof. Do you understand? Okay, because that's not because he said whatever.
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, so will you explain it to me? Explain it to me then.
It's the foundation.
I done had about 10 of them.
With you, that is the foundation.
My last 3 trials, I was the attorney for me.
Say it again.
I said my last 3 trials, I was the attorney for me, and didn't lose not one of
them. Though, did you win any of those?
I said I didn't lose. So what does that mean? What does that mean if I didn't lose?
It don't mean you won.
Yeah, well, I did. Okay, that's what you want to hear.
No, your answer.
No. Oh my God! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it! I can't believe it! I can't. You can't make this stuff up. If I lost, I got a situation going on right now.
For 8 years, meaning you haven't won it.
Exactly.
You went to jail for it, meaning you lost it.
No, that's not the truth. See, but I don't want to explain it to you because obviously you don't know how this works.
Mob James, I don't need it.
I'm not trying to explain it to you. You got to get on the internet and start reading on how this stuff works, okay? Because you really don't know. See, so the guy
stuff work because she has been to trial. She has dealt with trial. She has helped people get on, and she has fought her own case and won it.
Who we talking about? Who we talking about?
Me. Yeah, you think you're the only one that beats some questions, but you ain't even got no questions. I done proved mine.
Well, okay. Well, I tell you what. Then you should know about what's going on here, and you should understand that thus far, as far as testimony is concerned, nobody has said that they saw the man in a white car driving down the boulevard, and the car that shot Tupac, he was in it. Nobody said that thus far. They've talked a lot, but no one said thus far he was in the car. We saw him in the car. Nobody but him said that. And he's saying that they paid him. They're trying to build a case saying that they paid me to say that.
Right. And everybody that they're bringing, I'm not going to say everybody. Everybody that I've seen so far has not, they haven't pointed at KPD and say, I saw him in the car that shot Tupac. That may not be, but like you said, they're building the foundation because when the shootings broke out, people wasn't looking at who was shooting. They was ducking.
So I'm asking you this question. Who is building what foundation? What part of the parties, for example, the prosecution or the defense is building this foundation that you just mentioned? Which one of those two parties is building the foundation?
It's got to be the one who brought the case, right?
They did. They brought the case out, right? So I'll give you the answer to the question. Both parties have to establish some foundation, and the foundation, the heavy burden for foundation is the prosecution on the prosecution side. Okay, so the prosecution has to build this because they brought him in there to say they was hoping that he would say, yeah, we had, he knew of. For example, if he wasn't there, he wasn't nowhere. He couldn't even testify because he wasn't there. And he wasn't there when Tupac got shot, so he couldn't say nothing other than the fact that he knows the person that was there. That's all he could say. Then they would run out there and get him and bring him back.
He said a lot more than that, though.
What did he say? What much? How much more did he say?
Hey, what are you talking about? What did he say?
What did he have? Let me ask you this question. What did he say that gave rise to a crime can be proven? That there was proof of a crime.
I just told you the points that he made hurts Keefe D's case. Okay.
How? Okay, you tell me. Yeah, there you go.
But I'm gonna tell you again that he knows when they go back home that they got this gang war to deal with because Tupac had just beat up Orlando, and he knew that that there was gonna be retribution coming. He said that. He said if Tupac had knocked him out, he'd kill him. He said that. Those two things alone hurt Keefe D's case. He doesn't have to say Keefe D's.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It didn't hurt his case. It didn't hurt his case because he said that there was a fight. There is cameras everywhere. Okay, there's cameras everywhere. That's seen exactly what happened.
It ain't, no, this was 1996. There's cameras everywhere.
There is cameras everywhere in that casino when that happened. There was cameras everywhere. It was following him all the way around. You obviously haven't seen the footage, but there was camera following Tupac all around when he went over there and caught the cat at this here little round chair thing he was sitting, and then they started beating on him and kicking on him. They followed Tupac all over
the casino. That's inside the casino.
Correct.
So you know,
the casino.
It's everywhere. Like there's cameras that show
the cameras everywhere when they show. You talking about when the boy got beat up? So I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. So
when the young man got beat up, that means that what it showed that Tupac Shakur was committing a crime by assaulting that young man. That's what it showed. Right, and that was proof enough that there was a crime.
Do you realize that Tupac is not on trial? This is the murder trial for Tupac. So if you have a witness who's saying they don't want to get, go ahead.
It's not a murder trial for Tupac. It's not a murder trial for Tupac. This is a listen. This is a.
I can swear
it's a trial of the murder of Tupac. Yeah, but this guy's not being charged for murder.
I got
to get charged for murder.
Every single word up in there is what you saying.
Mr. What's his name? What's his name? Keefe. What's his name? His name is Davis.
Keefe D?
Yeah.
What about him?
What's his charges?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, you said you just mentioned it was a murder trial for Tupac for the murder trial.
Because that was the title of your video yesterday, Tupac murder trial. So that's what I was going by.
Right. But it's behind the death, of his trial. But the fact that what the man is being charged for, let's see what he's being charged for.
He's not the shooter, right? But you don't have to be the shooter to go to trial when somebody gets killed in the commencement of a crime. You in the car, you go to you get charged just like the shooter. It might be called something else, but you can do life for it too.
Well, that's a possibility, for sure. But there's still elements. There's still elements that have to happen.
But
okay, so he's being tried for first. He's being tried for first-degree murder in connection with the 1996 shooting death of rapper Tupac Shakur.
That's even worse than what he was being charged for. I didn't even think he was being
That's
charged
hard.
for
That's harder to prove. Okay, it's even harder to prove. First degree murder is harder to prove, right? Yeah. Yeah. See, you have to, you know,
I don't know if it's harder to prove, because all they got to
yes, it is.
is that Orlando killed him, and he was in the car with him.
Nope.
He was in the
Nope.
car with the.
Nope. That's not all it takes. That's not all it takes.
What more do they have to
Well,
prove?
you tell me. You tell me because you're expert when it comes down to you're expert when it comes down to this stuff. You tell me. Okay, this is what it is, right?
You disagree with me, so you got to tell me why you disagree. That they got to prove more.
You have to have. Okay, so first degree murder, you have to have it has to be an unlawful killing. You have to have malice and forethought. You have to be premeditation and deliberation for willful, deliberate, and premeditated first degree murder. Okay, that's hard to prove. Okay,
no,
yeah. So you have to.
No, it ain't. Because, like you said, we got the video of Tupac beating up Orlando, beating him down.
They ain't got
right?
nothing to do. They ain't got nothing to do. They ain't got nothing to do with him getting killed. What they got to do with him being killed? They ain't got nothing to do with him being killed. The video don't have nothing. The video has nothing to do with him being killed.
Mob James said it on the stand. Watch it again. Not with me, because I'm about to get off this live. But
me too. Me too.
On the stand.
You know what? You need, listen now, just for your credibility, you need to do a little more research, okay?
I think you need to do a little bit more research.
Not at all, because
you need to defend yourself.
Because Tupac jumps on a guy. Because Tupac jumps on somebody in a casino, that proves first degree murder. That don't make no sense. Okay? And because Tupac,
that's why we're in trial now, right? That's why we're in trial now. So what I said is what Mob James just said in his testimony proves that the killing was because Tupac beat up Orlando, whatever his name is. And there was, I keep using the word revenge taken. There was revenge taken. So all the stuff that you said is required in the first degree, like you got to plan it ahead of time, done. Malice, done. You named a couple more. I was just counting it in my head. Done, check. You check off all the boxes. They just got to prove that he was in the car. And I think his own what he said so far is gonna give the jury enough to convict him of, but if they put him on the stand, I think he'll really do himself in.
Okay, so there's a lot of, you need to do your research on the elements of first degree murder. It's gonna be hard. Huh?
You just gave it to me. You want to give it to me again? So we can go through this again.
Okay. In Nevada, where Duane Keefe D. Davis is being tried, first degree murder has specific legal elements that the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt. These elements are defined under NRS 200.0.0, Nevada revised statutes and related case law. Okay, so here we go. To convict for first degree murder, the prosecution must prove all of the following elements: unlawful killing, which is obvious. The defendant killed a human being. Okay, the killing was without legal justification or excuse. For example, self-defense, accident, or lawful police action would negate this. 2, malice, aforethought. The killing was done with malice, aforethought, meaning the defendant had a conscious disregard for the value of human life, or the defendant intended to kill, or the defendant intended to cause great bodily harm, or the killing occurred during the commission of a dangerous felony murder rule. 3, premeditation and deliberation for willful, deliberate, and premeditated first-degree murder. The defendant carefully considered the decision to kill deliberation. This can be proven even if the decision was made quickly, as long as there was a cooling off period where the mind was clear. 4, a special circumstances alternate paths to first degree. Even if premeditation isn't proven, a killing can still be first degree if it occurred during commission of certain felonies such as kidnapping, sexual assault, arson, robbery, burglary, child abuse, escape from prison, terrorism, or gang-related crimes. Relevant to Davis's case is the prosecution alleged gang enhancement. 5, gang enhancement is applicable if the prosecution proves the murder was committed to promote, further, or assist a criminal street gang, as alleged in Davis's case. It adds an additional layer of first-degree murder under NRS 200.010 parentheses 3. Key distraction, first degree versus second degree. But anyway, that's the first degree. But anyway,
that's easy, simple.
Is it? Wow. Okay.
My went on there and said they was all gang members.
That part is obvious. That's the only obvious part about it, right? And
no,
the only other
it's not. But that's one of them.
Okay, so we have individuals. We say it one more time.
You're saying they were not gang members?
No, they were gang members, but we have this situation. Here's the situation. We have a person, four people in the car, right? And there still hasn't been an unequivocal, in other words, clear evidence who actually did the shooting, who the shooter actually was.
Everybody in that car is accused of first degree murder. All of them. The same.
Well, they can't accuse everybody in there because everybody else, if there's only one person living, everybody else is dead. They can't,
right.
That church tried.
And there's one shooter and just 3 passengers.
It doesn't matter. They cannot try a dead man. They will not try anybody dead.
A dead man. I'm saying everybody in that car has committed first degree murder, even if there's only one shooter. You disagree?
That's not true. Yeah, 100% I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Yeah.
How do you disagree with that?
If we're in a car, we're driving down the street, and you got a gun and you got one, and decide to start shooting. I ain't got nothing to do with me. But if I'm in the car with you.
What are you talking about? I do have one. I have one legally. I have 4.
Okay. Well, they might have 5 or 6 of them legal. Okay.
I'm not a gang member. I can have mine legally. Mine don't.
What constitutes a gang member? Let me ask you that question. What constitutes?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fucking gang member, but they're constituting it themselves. I don't have to make up.
That's what they gotta do. They gotta say that they're in a gang, and they have to have at least 3 people to have a gang member in California. I don't know what's going on with that. But the point is that they are obviously saying we're gang members.
No, you can be a gang member by yourself. You go to jail, you can be a gang member.
I thought you knew about law. No, you can't. I thought you knew about the gang member. No, you can claim a gang.
You obviously don't know. You need 3 people to be a gang member.
You don't know. You obviously don't know. Okay? You obviously don't know. But I'm willing to put my I'm willing to put my money where where my mouth is. Are you? That's my question. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Are you?
What money?
Whatever money you got. I'm willing to bet you some money right there.
What you want to bet?
$100 that you can't be a gang member by yourself.
What are we betting on?
You cannot be a gang member by yourself. That's what we're betting on. You're saying you can be a gang member by yourself. You can't be a gang member by yourself. You have to have a gang in your
Look.
You can't be a part. You can be a part. All of them are part of it.
Let me say this. You've been on for way too long.
Correct. It's 2:00 right now.
Yeah, once you already labeled a gang member, you are a gang member. So once you start committing crimes, whether you're with the gang or not, you are still a gang member. So if it was one person who did the shooting and he was a gang member, he still has the enhancement, the gang enhancement, because he's already labeled.
Mr. James McDonald said he is no longer in the life. That means he is no longer a gang member. He says he's no longer in the life.
I'm about to hang up. This is ridiculous.
Exactly. That's why I say the same thing. It is ridiculous, but I'm glad it came out your mouth first.